No matter what damage we do to the earth or other people, violence and nonviolence is between nonviolence.
You weren't on the stream at all. You were outside of it.
Revolution of consciousness. A consciousness that is able to understand how we're all inextricably connected to each other on this earth and to the earth itself. And that if we violate those fundamental principles, we do so at our own peril. Yes, we can continue to live in this delusion and the denials of reality because it's painful. It's frightening. Sometimes it's terrifying. How can we continue as a civilization of we the people? And I'm liberated. I'm free to stand anywhere, any place, and tell them they cannot continue to kill mothers and fathers and children in my name as a citizen of the United States.
And welcome back to another great night here on the Freedom Revolution Network. This is Clarity After Dark. I am your host, Scarlet Anonymous. I have my co-host tonight with me, Dwayne Lana.
What's up?
Say hello, everybody. And so tonight is going to be an interesting night. It's going to be a more laid-back night. Obviously not as intense as our coverage for the election. But I think it's a time to reflect, and I think it's a time to think about just where we're kind of going. As I named the episode tonight, A Tale of Two Elections, right? Because there is this double narrative going on right now. Oh, what happened? What happened? There we go. What happened?
Kick me at the fucking podcast.
I didn't do anything.
No, you were on the podcast during your intro. We didn't even catch the first fucking part of it.
Yeah, that's great. No, it's fine.
That's why I re-added you.
Okay. That's okay. That's how I do the show, though. I bring you in after.
No, I'm talking about you, hon. We didn't catch any of your intro.
I didn't do the intro. I was trying to fix something quickly while I was doing something, so my audio had some issues, and so we were trying to figure things out. That's what that was about. So I just tried to like kill some time for a minute and use that as my time to get ready and prepped. So, but it's been an interesting week. You know, we were all here together on Tuesday going into Wednesday. And now it's Friday going into Saturday. And from then till now, we still know nothing. Okay. Nothing's really changed. Nothing really has become different. We know just about as much as we do then. The last words that I left you guys with on Tuesday still hold true. It depended on what the narrative would be spun in the morning to how this would go. And ever since then, that has reigned true and supreme. And so I find it very interesting. Oh, hush, MGTOW, unlike the uptight nights. We're not uptight around here.
You know what? And this is how I feel about the shit. Because we were just kind of discussing it over on you know, on the Freak Out experience. You know, like a lot of us have had to step away from the network and shit since the past 3 shows we've all done for 6.5 hours.
Whoop.
We logged 18 hours in 3 days, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, but I think we did some of the best election coverage around because we tried to at least be fair and report what everyone was reporting and kept a tally that way. So, I mean, I feel like we have something going for ourselves.
Right, but here's what I was going to say. You know, this has been literally a fucking anxiety case in the fucking nutshell.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, and everybody knows how we all do deal with anxiety. When we all wake up and everything's fucking flipped over goddamn fucking night. What the fuck? And I know
Well, like I said, whatever the narrative was going to be flipped overnight is what it was going to become.
I was just getting ready to go there and see that fucking Scarlet.
And that's why I said it.
You know, but here's my thing. When it's throwing me and my fucking own mother, okay, I'm not doing this tonight. Actually, you know what, sir? I have a question. Have you looked in the fucking mirror lately? Because you're probably the same way. You can stay, but I'm going to keep coming back with these comments. Don't fuck with me. Because I got comments and I got comebacks. Because if you stepped in the scale lately, it probably showed your address
Oh, what the schmack.
and your date of birth. I don't want to hear it.
We have some Twitch viewers who appreciate us, so.
You know what?
Tonight.
So you know what? Let them fucking come in these comment boxes. I'll just fucking rip 1 or 2 and I'm done. I don't think y'all.
Well, I mean, you can't piss on your parade, so let's keep going. So, you know, it's interesting. We've got some interesting information.
Interesting or scary?
Well, you know, I mean, we've got some interesting shit going on right now. I mean, we've got a lot of people who basically, I really don't know what to say for those Republicans out there, you know, who feel a certain way right now. I mean, I'd like to see if there is such a claim of election fraud, right? I would like to see more evidence of that. And I would like to see, besides Michigan, where the official came out and said that their tabulator gave like 6,000 votes to Biden. Okay, well, that's an instance. We can check into that. We can see if that actually pans out. But, you know, some of the other things just aren't a solid enough argument to try to bring to the American people to be like, well, we think this happened, this happened, this happened. I mean, the chance of coming back when you have to get 6 states is almost impossible. I mean, it'd have to be a sweep in all 6 states. And we know at this point that that's not what it's going to be, right? Because he would have to get Pennsylvania and North Carolina and Georgia. You know, that's really at this point getting statistically impossible. Unless you get into the faithless elector category, right? So we don't technically vote for the Electoral College until December. And it's like December 12th or 13th, right?
Right.
And until then, those votes aren't cast. These are only projected totals. And that's why it was interesting. I was actually surprised that what I was watching, it was local TV. So it was like Twin Cities Public Television. And they were saying that they felt as if after this election, that news media and organizations should stay out of the business of calling states, because they're getting the voting information fed to them from local election people. But these are only the first counted votes. And I didn't know that they had a staggering vote count situation, right? They only count the votes that were cast like on election day first, and then they go back and count the absentee ballots, and then they count any ballots that came after election day. And then, so like all these groups of voters end up getting basically pushed out of even being counted. And I don't think that's fair either. I think everywhere, and this is the problem with our elections, we go so fast with these projections that we don't actually sit down and count all the votes. We just assume, instead of sitting down, counting all the votes, and then saying at the end of the day, this is how many votes this state had, this is how many were in the final tabulation, this is how many went for this candidate, but they don't do that. And so that's a big issue.
Right.
You know? And so since it hasn't been decided yet, I would tell people right now to not necessarily count Trump out, but statistically, where it looks at from what the pundits are saying, it looks almost impossible. But from a legal standpoint and actually knowing how Electoral College and how they're going to vote in the next few weeks actually works, there could still be a chance. I mean, if we get groups of faithless electors who decide not to vote with their state, then we could have a complete chance, you know, for something different.
Do you know what? Here's the thing. You know what?
The one thing that I think really bothers me, though, is for how many years? 4 years. Democrats and other people talked about the Russia collusion and talked about how they could interfere with the election. And now that their guy is winning, there is no talk of potential election fraud. They say this is impossible. But they said for the last 4 years that the Russians were going to steal the election.
Now, like, look, here's my thing, and I brought this up to you on the phone earlier when I called you. You know, Hunter Biden was found with $3.3 billion from China and
right.
I think it was like 1.4 or $1.5 billion from Ukraine. Now, watch this shit because I found this on my own. My peer support said it. My counselors, my AOD counselor has said it. My mama said it. And then I call you. I've really not fucking called anybody since our shows. And that's not your guys' fault. I've taken a break from social fucking media. Here's the thing. I have a good fucking feeling China and the Ukraine are behind this with Hunter Biden getting over $4.8 billion fucking dollars. Then watch this. The prosecuting attorney from the Ukraine's power supply was fired after the money was received.
Mm-hmm. And he said, I'll get the bastard fired.
So here's my thing. And this is where I want to challenge everybody's brains. We all fucking know Russia got involved with the 2016 election. We're not fucking stupid.
Right.
Now, here's my thing. I bet when I went and voted, because I noticed something, okay? Is when you press the fucking button. Like, you know, they gave me a little fucking stick, and it was like a little style for the machine.
Oh, the stylus thing? Yeah.
Yeah, they gave us a stylus. You know, they gave each one of us one. When you press it and you click next, it glitched, and you saw the screen go blue. For like a good minute. So I was standing there for a couple minutes. So, what if fucking Ukraine had access to every fucking voting poll that we fucking had? And so I'm going to get loud for a minute because watch this. Because I'm pretty fucking.
What if China did? And they know that if they blackmail Biden they can get him to do whatever he wants as president, and they wanted to take over America anyway. So this is like good for them.
See, and watch this. So watch this, as I was just stating on Freaked Out Experience, which is
because the Uranium One deal, we have to remember the Uranium One deal, even though Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State at the time, the Uranium One deal would have been done under a Obama-Biden presidency. With Russia and dealings with China and the Chinese spies, that all would have been done under that administration. And so if I were the Chinese, or if I were another country that was like, oh, let me meddle in the United States affairs, would you not take the opportunity of a lifetime with blackmail with that laptop and then use it against them? Get that guy in, even though you may not like that guy, get that guy in, so then you can play him like a puppet on a string.
right. So watch this. And as a lot of you know, I posted a fucking meme earlier on my Facebook page. A fucking meme. A meme that I sent Scarlet to. I actually tagged Scarlet in this meme. Because it's funny as shit. It's of the fucking Statue of Liberty fucking pulling fucking Trump back and shooting him away.
In a mask. It's the Statue of Liberty shooting Trump like in a mask off into the sunset.
So,
but see, here's the deal. If they can make public opinion believe that Biden is president-elect, which a lot of people already do just because of the electoral college numbers, and they don't realize how we actually count shit in America, then that's half the battle. That's more than him just winning, right? Because if they can actually, hello, free child, if they can actually sit and push the public opinion to believe that he's president-elect, right? Believe that he is the one in charge, and now he's, the big guy. That now negates any argument. Now they can say anything Trump does is illegitimate.
right.
And if they get that, if they can cement that into public opinion, it's over. Because that's better than him even getting the votes, because that's public opinion.
Right, and so like I was saying about this meme, so watch this, Scarlett. I know you were laughing your fucking ass off because I saw you fucking laughing at the one who's coming.
I just thought it was funny that they said they were going to yeet him, because it was like, yeet,
yeet. Well, watch this. Someone came on my page, and said, if you ain't a Trump supporter, get the fuck off my page.
I saw that. How is somebody going to come on your page and tell you if you're not down
watch this.
My page? Like, hold up.
I think he's my cousin. No, he's my Uncle Bud. Came in and said, I like the meme. Don't fret, man. The racist, QAnon, flat earth, Bigfoot chasing, anti-vaxxers, climate change deniers, mask holes, orange shitler crowd will also go on the way of the dinosaurs, on the wrong side of every single issue in history. You just keep the peace. Now, here's my thing. How the fuck are you going to come on my page, tell me if I don't support Trump, get the fuck off my page when I voted for the man?
I don't know, man.
And I've said that every fucking night that we've done a show, especially on election night, when someone asked me who I voted for, someone in the comments, and I said I voted for fucking Trump. Scarlett voted for fucking Trump. I don't know who the fuck I voted for.
Your internet's cutting out, or it could be mine. But
here's the thing. Why do you worry about the trolls that are out there? I mean, you can either take it personally, or you can just throw it back at him.
I was using it as an example.
I'm cold. Hold on, I gotta turn my heater on.
So here's my thing.
Minnesota. To Minnesota where it's cold.
It is fucking cold. I don't have any heat here though.
So using that as an example, and then seeing the protest that's going on in Denver, which I'll pull up here in a minute because I still have it going live on my Facebook. I have that pulled up as well. Here's my thing. And I'm going to bring this up that Scarlett brought up to me earlier, so I'm going to beat her to the punch. A USPS mail carrier was found fucking going to the border of fucking Canada with ballots.
Oh,
that's true.
Ballots.
Where was he going with the ballots? I just want to know.
There is a hide button, boy. I know. I just love seeing the fucking.
I don't understand. That's the deal, and I'm surprised I haven't seen more people on the right. Like we saw that small group in front of the Maricopa County offices, right?
That's
They're out there protesting. I'm just surprised we don't see more people out there. That's the part where they claim that they support this. They claim that, they're there and they want to stop the steal and all these things. But the one thing that could change that is actually going out, because that's what the other side has done now for 200 some days. And it does make some difference. So I'm just quite concerned, like, what their plan is, or are a bunch of people following this QAnon trust the plan thing, which I don't trust complacency. The only thing I see in QAnon plan, like, yes, it can educate people about what's going on, but the biggest thing I always hear is trust the plan, which then does not allow for any action.
What's the plan? That's my question. What the fuck is the plan?
Take down the deep state is the plan. That's the whole gist of the Q thing, because I was there from the beginning before anybody really listened to Q or did anything with it. So that's the whole gist, is that it takes down this cabal, deep state, blah, blah, blah. But the issue is that what it's done is made a lot of people not feel like they have to do anything to then get the result that they want.
Right. By the way,
and that is a problem, because if you've got one side going out and using one type of activism, right, and you have no game plan, and you're just sitting there and nothing's happening, you're just sitting at your house, what is actually going to get done? Because everybody has an opinion now. Social media has made it to where everybody has an opinion. So it's not something unique anymore. So what do we do to make that opinion different?
Abolish social media. Honestly, I mean, what can you do to get rid of? I mean, everybody's been seeing this the entire time for the last 5 months, even. Is what do you do to get rid of the anxiety of what you feel is right, but you keep seeing everybody else's opinion?
Right.
Well, the thing is,
it's like,
but to get rid of social media, but see, they're already doing things to censor social media. It's not a matter of getting. It's not a matter of getting rid of social media, because the thing is.
Yeah, I don't think you can get rid of it now where it exists, because businesses, livelihoods, and everything come from it.
It's all controlled now.
You know what? And here's my thing though too. Like, me and Mike were talking on Sunday. Social media isn't like it used to be. Like, social media was like, you see updates of friends and family, like, because you may live far away and you don't get to see what they're doing every day, or you don't live close enough, to see them, but now it's like, I barely see what fucking Scarlet posts. I barely fucking see what.
I'm always shadow banned though, because I've spoken truth for a long time. I'm surprised that I haven't been hit as many times as far as account warnings and other issues.
My Facebook page was actually nailed for false reporting.
They're checking say videos are altered now. The fact checkers. Today I seen one that was like altered video.
Right, but I got fake news because I was doing a satire piece.
See, you can't even that's the problem, is that these AI algorithms don't understand like satire or a joke, but yet the real inappropriate things never get hit, right?
Watch this.
Well, right. One of the greatest examples of that is, again, I brought this up while we were on air a little while ago. One of the greatest examples of the censorship and a fucked up algorithm is TikTok. They will let these 12 and 13-year-old little girls out there shaking their ass, but yet when someone
you have
sits
a
on
video
there
with somebody speaking truth and it gets slammed,
it gets slammed. And again, I'm not saying anything against Trump or Biden, but if you were to speak a piece of truth about either one of them, it doesn't matter who.
It's gonna it's going to get black. But when you have the news agencies basically saying Biden's president, he's president-elect, Trump is lying, everything he says is a lie, you know, how can he sit up here and lie? What are people going to believe?
Well,
right.
And kind of it's just like PolitiFact. I mean, immediately on Tuesday night, I had friends texting me pictures and showing me the pictures of the piles of bricks. And we talked about this for a moment on Tuesday night, that this was going on in Denver.
And then nothing happened.
PolitiFact says it's not happening.
Yeah, and then nothing happened, though. I was really surprised that we didn't see more rioting. Now, there was a little bit in Minneapolis, and like 500 people got arrested. But other than that, there wasn't really anything like they were preparing us for.
Because
so
no result.
Well, again.
I think that's because they knew at that moment, they knew that night that they weren't going to send these people out there because they were supposedly going to be out there on election night. And as numbers came in, they'd be out rioting and yada yada. They knew that night. And this was the problem that I had said 4 years ago. And you can go back and probably watch a bajillion shows where I mentioned this. The biggest issue we were going to have is how big they pad the votes, because they knew from the last election they did not pad the votes well enough for Hillary, and it became a landslide. They're saying he will win just as many electoral votes as Trump did in his landslide victory. And most of the states where Biden won, he won by the margins that Trump won in 2016. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think they knew about how many votes from that they needed to get to try to then solidify the situation. And so with the lack of campaigning, I just can't imagine that there was that many people who were like, oh yeah, that's great, let's vote for him.
Well, it's like we said in the last show. Biden didn't pick up in his votes until the last month when a couple of different people started endorsing it. You know, Obama started endorsing him in the last month, you know, and I think there was a couple other. And again, I'm not saying anything against Biden because as I said, you know,
coming out for Biden saying, hey, we're switching teams, you know, there was a little bit of pomp and circumstance. And so I just
but I just clarify, you know, it is. You know, I clarify, you know, the reason I'm saying, you know, nothing against Biden or Trump, because again, I'm not here for the political part. I'm here for the comedy of it. But the truth of it is I agree with the fact that this election, mirror image but opposite side of 4 years ago, and the only the biggest difference is everybody is tripping balls about it, and with the mail-in ballots, it's making it that much harder. You know, it's like I said when we were on air earlier. There's no law or anything stating that we have to have the announcement of who president is the next day after voting day.
No.
And they technically have until midnight, December 31st, to tell us who our president is. They have to have a decision.
College votes the 13th, and then they have a couple weeks after that to then certify the result. And then January 6th is when they would actually like bring that vote to Congress and say, hey, this is what the Electoral College voted. And then that's why the inauguration is on the 20th of January, because there's all these legalities that have to go into place after voting that then complete the whole election.
So, and honestly, in my opinion, I think they're playing on that.
They are big time.
No,
they love this shit. This is great for them.
It's orchestrated animosity.
Well, no,
and
anarchy.
Yeah, it's orchestrated animosity.
Order out of chaos.
Right. Okay. And again,
divide
like I said,
and conquer. It's a very simple formula that people just have not been paying attention to this whole time. But that's really all it's really been, is divide and conquer. That's why I always try to remind people it's not left versus right. It's us versus the elites. And we have to remember that no matter what
But
side
now-
we're on,
now-
it's us versus the elites, not
But
left and
at
right.
this point, the saddest part, the saddest part is it's not even us versus the elites anymore. It's us versus us.
You know what? And
You
here,
know?
and I'm
Well,
gonna
that's
touch.
what I mean. If we would have just always focused on us versus the elites, I don't think we would have turned on each other as
Now-
soon. But divide and conquer is working. You know,
Right.
the other side is already calling Trump supporters snowflakes and saying he's still your president and all this other shit. Like they literally, it's a mirror image of the other side. And this is what one thing, hold on, Dwayne. This is one thing that I called in 2016. I said, I really hope people don't lose sight of good issues and good candidates and good quality, because otherwise we're just going to get the byproduct of nobody but Hillary, but reverse on the other side. And that's
So-
exactly what we've got.
Can I explain something for a minute? And part of the thing is here too, you know, this is one thing I have not addressed, you know. So I'm gonna go back to the whole BLM movement here again, okay? I'm gonna go back to this for a minute. Because all of these people hate Trump. Fucking hate this man to death. And
Do they though?
hold on,
Yeah.
because here's the thing, and I'm going to explain in a minute. So, Scarlet, remember how I told you that a lot of people went up to Washington for the march for the 70th anniversary for Martin Luther King Jr. They all gathered outside of the White House and was fucking screaming at this man. Like was screaming in the White House, going like, and there's probably 3,000, 4,000 fucking people out there on, because it's the anniversary of one of the greatest marches that has ever happened on U.S. soil, demonstrated peacefully through Martin Luther King Jr. Okay? So,
Yeah.
I'm in this protest chat. Yes, I'm still in it because I like to keep tabs up on these fuckers and see what they're doing. And I hate to keep using a reference of something I used to stand up for so passionately that it just got mixed into fuckery that I couldn't do it anymore. Here's the thing: when they're saying Trump, and here's part of the problem too. When you bring and Scarlet, this is no offense to you, okay? When I say this, when you come in,
He's about to offend everybody. Just know.
yeah, this ain't an offense to nobody. When you come in and say this president has not done nothing for the minority community, this is actually where I have to say you're actually fucking wrong. Because Trump has done a lot for the minorities, you know, for the black community. You know, so when you have that, Gator, you're muted, bud. You're still muted, buddy. You're not now.
Okay, there we go. Here's the thing on that though. It's like I said the other night when we were broadcasting on election eve. Every president is going to be told that they don't help out one minority or another, whether it's blacks, whether it's Mexicans, whether it's I don't give a damn. Okay, Trump just happens to be. He's not helping out the blacks, supposedly. Okay, Biden is not. If Biden gets elected, he ain't gonna help out fucking the goddamn Teletubbies for all I care. Okay.
Well, the only reason I'm saying this is because I've been on the inside of these groups. Like, you can ask Scarlett, I was on the inside of these groups for months, and that's how I was doing a lot of my shows, because I was getting a lot of the information. And you can ask Scarlett this, because a lot of my shows were based off of this. So I was getting inside information. You know, I stayed particularly as someone who just kind of stayed in the backgrounds. Did participate, and also for the right reasons. But I've also heard a lot of these things that were said about our president. So this is where I'm going. Like in this protest chat,
And I can't believe that they're already trying to say, what's going on?
It's banned.
Okay. I just can't. believe what we got going on right now. Just the way that they're trying to already push the other side. You know, it's really sad when Biden himself is saying the other side isn't our enemy, but yet all of the Biden supporters are like, we'll never forgive Trump supporters. We'll never allow them in our world. They'll never be welcome. You know, like, that's what kind of bothers me is that we're not going to go into a world where it's going to be all, Biden thinks there's going to be healing somehow. But his supporters themselves have basically vowed to not play ball. And so I don't know what we're going to be able to do as a country to be able to get along when we've already got the other side saying there's no way we'll get along.
And like the thing is, like I was saying, in this group chat I'm fucking in, it's with 300 fucking people on Messenger. Over 300 people. And I can't keep up with the messages. I've got the fucking thing muted, but I go back and read all the messages somehow. Here's my thing. When not a single person voted Trump, and dude, there's things in here that they've bashed this man. Like some of the shit I've read is just disgraceful. It's untasteful. It's God, Jesus fucking Christ. Then I'm in a Biden supporter group because I like to get in and get information. We all know how I do things. I get on the inside of things. And Scarlet, thanks to you, you taught me how to do that.
Right.
What
you got? I want some.
Tinfoil.
Tinfoil.
And I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but here's the thing, and I hate to call these people out. I have, the BLM movement has a huge part to blame in this right now. And, I'm just going to come out and say it properly. I'm just going to call it how I see it. What
has BLM done for Black folks, though? I really want to know. What have they actually done for Black folks? What has been their actual outreach? What out of the money that they've actually raised has went back to Black people?
No, it's when
that's going to be like zip all do fucked up, okay?
No,
and that's the problem. They're not out here helping Black people. They show up in these towns when these things occur, and then they disappear just as quickly.
Well,
and the local BLM people don't do anything outside of when there's protests. So there's a problem with that. Like, it's great that they exist as this group and the idea and all that, blah, 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 right? But what do they actually do?
Watch this. I can tell you where the money automatically goes. Because watch this. 90% of the money they raise is bail.
It's what?
Bail.
They don't even pay the bail, though. Here
yes,
in Minneapolis, they let all them folks sit in jail, and they said, "Oh, BLM's going to get them out." Blah blah blah. No, nobody got their ass out. They don't even use the money for bail.
Can we go back for 1 second? Can we go back for 1 second? They pay for bail.
Yes,
on BLM.
Bail funds. Yes, we do. And I've been there when bails have been
paid. They paid a little money on bail, but not much. And another organization ended up paying all the, hold on, Dwayne. Another organization here in Minneapolis actually ended up paying the bails. And it was like they had that like telethon thing on TV for it. Those people ended up donating for that. And they ended up letting out people from jail who weren't even in the protest. And let out people who were dangerous criminals, who were rapists, who were, all of these things. Like, it wasn't even the people who were involved.
Right. Like, here's the thing is, like, I'm saying, like, so when the money has came in, I remember the one day we sat down at it was one of the courthouses we sat in for fucking hours. By the way, hi, Mom, since you're watching.
What?
Right. What?
So, my mom's watching. I put her comment up on the screen. And I'm saying this, we sat inside for hours paying bail, but here's the thing, then they turn around and get arrested going like, oh, we have someone who's going to bail me out.
And no one got bailed out, though. That's half of the problem. They ended up sitting in jail. They ended up not having this group represent them. And so they put their lives on the line, got arrested, and then didn't even have anybody who said they were going to come help them. That's half of the problem. If Black Lives Matter were actually in Black communities or maybe if they would have tried to start this whole community help people bullshit, themselves, maybe I would take them more seriously. But like I said, the only thing I see them do is show up during a goddamn protest, have everybody bring up their signs,
Well,
say, "Oh, Black Lives Matter," and then they ass disappear as soon as that damn protest is over, and don't nobody see them on those streets. They ain't helping no folks. They ain't helping black people. Black people ain't got shit. So for me, as a black person, Black Lives Matter to me ain't shit, because that's great. We can say Black Lives Matter. Okay, that's great. Black lives do matter. We shouldn't just be killing black folks because, oh, we think they're violent or this or that or bullshit. Right. But what the fuck do they do? I've never seen them do anything. So
Right.
that's my issue. Until I would actually see them do something, they're not credible in my eyes. They just show up, start shit, leave, and then leave.
Well,
And you know what? And I want to say that on personal accountability here, and Mike, I mean to interrupt, for a person who's had a gun put in their fucking face, for a person that's been fucking hit and had to go to the hospital a couple fucking times, because of the fact of these fucking groups, one, my PTSD and anxiety has been extremely fucked up since getting a 9mm fucking Glock wind in your fucking face because some dumbass decided to reach in the fucking truck of a veteran and fucking deck him in the face. And two, when you get fucking hit 3-4 fucking times in a row and Scarlet finally has to tell you fucking enough is enough, you're gonna fucking die. Like, get the fuck out. Like, Scarlet and my mother's the only reason I fucking walked away because I kept getting hurt. They don't care if motherfuckers are out here getting hurt. They only care if their message is out there fucking.
They don't. They're just using people as physical pawns and body shields for their agendas, of which they never end up supporting the people.
I think their entire agenda is money. I think their entire agenda is honestly trying to get everybody to get on board with a thing that, in my opinion, doesn't really exist. And here's why. Is that, I mean, I reported on this months ago that more white people are, and here's let me back up, is that the Black Lives Matter thing happens every time a black person gets shot by a cop. But the problem is that more white people get shot by cops than blacks. And they die in the hands of police more than blacks. I mean, those stats are out there. You just got to look for them.
Well, that's what I always told people. People should be more mad about the police state. Oh, thanks, Billy. More people should be mad about the police state than the individuals or color of that are being killed. The police state is the problem. The military-industrial complex that train these cops is the problem. It's not necessarily individuals, because you could find everybody from any race being killed. But the issue is these police and the training that they have is overkill. It's just it.
That was the big thing with the huge incident. God damn it, what was his name? I can't think of his name at the moment, but the big one with the choking of the neck over the knee over his head.
And the cigarettes with the Eric Garner, the one in New York over cigarettes.
George Floyd, if you watch the entire body cam footage, his entire body cam footage from the moment of the call, I mean, they went in to talk to the people who had made the call.
Yeah, but
they found out that he was trying to pass a counterfeit bill. Then they went.
Was that really important though? We got COVID going on, and they're coming out to $20 bill.
He couldn't breathe at the moment they contacted him.
I did see that, though, Scar.
And it went for 40 minutes, or 37 minutes. We'll call it. I mean, the dude was in cardiac arrest from his fentanyl overdose from the get-go.
Yeah, because when we read the coroner's report, they found fentanyl, methamphetamines, and what was it, Scarlett? Carfentanil, methamphetamines, And
there was something else in his system that he traced, but it wasn't like recent, but it was in like the metabolites.
it was Adderall. Sorry, my mom's joining. Ow.
Yeah, but my entire point is that they want to say that the cops were the ones that caused him to not breathe. He said he couldn't breathe like 10 minutes into that body cam footage.
Right. Hi,
So he
Mom.
was already in cardiac arrest.
Wow, it's been a minute since my mom's been on here.
Yeah, it has been a while.
What's going on?
Because I wasn't planning on watching because we all know that I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut.
Uh-oh.
I didn't.
New experience for me.
I didn't figure that I was gonna have a hard time keeping my mouth shut this time, but I am. When you guys were talking about Black Lives Matter, and I know that was a few minutes ago, I just had a hard time logging on.
Right.
I was watching. We all know I use Steve Harvey a lot because I love watching him.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing a virtual guest the other day, and it was white parents that adopted a little black boy when I think he's like 4 or 5 now, but he was 3 months old.
Okay.
And they talked about Black Lives Matter and everything, and Steve Harvey said that when you see or hear a black person talking about Black Lives Matter, they're not saying that white lives don't matter. They're not saying that white lives, that white people don't have it hard or that they're not in poverty. It's just that we don't have to worry as much when we walk out our front door. But the thing of that matter is, and this is where, if I could have went through the screener, could have told him something, I lived in the projects. I lived in the Southeast projects in the 90s when it was no joke. I mean, it's no joke now, but I feared just as much as the rest of them did.
It's because everybody's at risk in these neighborhoods. That's the problem. People don't want to admit that it's everybody who's at risk when they live in these neighborhoods. It's not just black or white. It's literally everybody has to worry about their own ass.
When I was in 8th grade, there was 3 or 4 grades in my middle school. I was the 4th or 5th white person in that entire school. And one of y'all were saying on here, that more whites get killed by cops than blacks do, which is statistically true. But if you look at it, though, more black people are killed by black people.
Yep.
And that is true.
Yeah, that is true.
That is true.
The other thing on that is, okay, I lived in Mike will corroborate this one. I lived in Denver in the probably 2000. Oh, when was this? It's in the mid 2010 or 2011, and I was living up off of Colfax. When I say Colfax, I'm east of Colfax because West Colfax is business district, guy. But East Colfax, on the other hand, not so much. But I was working, and boss comes up to me and says, "Hey, we're about done with this job. We got 2 options. I can give you all your paycheck, call it a day, or we can go help out the other crew on the other house." Well, being Denver, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, to make it across town in Denver, by the time we got there, it would have been worthless. So we all said, hell with it. Let's just get our check and go home. Well, somebody had been casing where I lived. Well, I got home. I was home early, took a shower, ate my dinner, laid down. Well, my stairs looked directly down at my door. Next to my door was a bay window. And I'm laying in bed watching a movie, and I hear glass break. Well, I happen to poke my head out my door, and a guy is coming through my window. And, I didn't, my first thought wasn't, oh, it must be a black guy, it must be a Mexican. Nope, it must be somebody coming through my window. I don't give a fuck what color you are.
Some
Now,
white
did it turn out to be a white guy?
But see, that's what I mean about
You
people
know.
who live in these areas. It's everybody who's got to worry about their ass. And people don't want to admit
Right.
that.
You
There's
know.
people of all colors in a lot
Now
of
the
these
jacked up
neighborhoods,
part.
all backgrounds.
Oh, hold
and
on.
everybody's got to watch their ass equally.
You know what? And here's my thing.
Well, and there's more to it though. Oh,
You know what? And here's
hold
the
on,
thing:
dude.
for someone who
There's more
has
to it.
dealt with law enforcement as a kid, let me tell you something. I'll give you guys a little small. When I was at my worst fucking state, and you get thrown up on the fucking wall by a black cop who is a lot fucking taller than you, who is a lot more fucking stronger than you, and telling you like, look, you're being a fucking jackass, knock the fuck off. Let me tell you something. It goes both ways here, buddy. Because let me tell you something. All these people out here, and I'm going to bring up, a fucking term. I don't know if y'all can pay attention to this term, but everyone's fucking walking the streets yelling ACAB for fucking 8 hours straight. Let me fucking tell you this. If all fucking cops are bad, and I'm just going to give a little personal fucking experience here real quick. If all cops are fucking bad, I'm sitting here today.
I mean,
Like,
I get people's sentiment with that, but we have to just think statistically, not all cops are bad, right? And so, but there are shitty ones, okay? Because I've dealt with them. And there are really shitty ones. And one thing that we need to talk about instead of worrying about defunding the police is getting these police unions in check. Because a lot of times that's the barrier to having anything meaningful happen.
I mean, so
if there was to be any discipline, if there was to be any, policy change, if there was to be, a lot of these unions are in cahoots with each other and they are not willing to change. And they will just say, hey, we won't do anything or we'll go on strike or whatever it is. So then it never can be resolved. But if we could fix that union structure and stop them from being a barrier to changing policy, that would be a good start. Instead of trying to defund them, why not retrain them? I don't understand this whole defunding thing. People are already, because they were talking about defunding here and they didn't get a chance to. But people were already complaining about the increase of crime, already complaining about being carjacked, already complaining like, oh, why aren't the police here when something happens? You all just said you didn't want the goddamn police and you wanted these community helper fuckers. I just have a hard time too, because even when they say something that they want to do, when it comes down to brass tacks, it's ignorant to think that, oh, we're just going to abolish the police and then I'm going to be on my own. People forget that I don't know where everybody thought all of a sudden the world is all kumbaya, but it took like 2 months for them to start carjacking, stealing, and robbing people straight up off the streets in these neighborhoods.
Right. And, and there's one thing I want to say too, is like, so a lot of people are saying, well, cops don't need shotguns in their cars. Cops don't need ARs in their cars. Let me tell you something. I've done 3 ride-alongs so far. 3, okay? And I've seen from the eyes of a police officer what the fuck happens and how quick shit can go wrong. My first ever ride-along, dude got pulled over. We responded to a call for a carjacking, right? If it wasn't for that cop coming out with his AR in his car, he would have got shot by, I think it was either a Mac 9 or an Uzi that they recovered. And you want to know who's in the front car of that fucking seat that would have been the next fucking person that got killed besides the police officer? Me. Let me tell you something. I felt more fucking safe knowing a cop had a fucking gun that could fight something like that besides a fucking pistol. Like, you know what I mean, Scarlet?
Well, here's the deal. Criminals don't necessarily purchase their guns from legal means, and so I think that's half of the problem. People don't realize that.
But
they have some guns and equipment that are absolutely wild.
But do you understand what I'm saying, though? Mike, are you seeing what I'm saying here? Like, you're getting shot at by a Mac fucking 9 and you're a regular fucking patrol officer. Your pistol ain't gonna fucking do shit. That's a fucking 9mm pistol.
Also depends on how your aim is.
I honestly have to keep my mouth shut at this point. Basically because I can't say You're wrong about your ride along.
Yeah.
I know that because of experience.
What do you mean?
You would have never been put on that call.
Yeah, we would have. Oh, hell yeah, dude. I've ran worse calls than that.
Whoa, what was that?
You know what, dude? Fuck you.
What just happened? I looked down for 1 second. I don't even know what happened, but continuing on. I don't even know what just went on. I looked down at my phone and I looked back up. So I'm here.
If I could say for just a
Ah,
second, I and not to try and throw at Dwayne here, but my uncle, who was a 25-year veteran of the United States Marine Corps, retired out of the Marine Corps and went directly into the police force. And I had went on a couple of ride-alongs, and he wasn't supposed to go on certain calls, but that day it was a priority, and I literally was left at a McDonald's because it was a high-profile call, and I could not go. And I'm
Okay,
sorry,
but
Dwayne. I
when you
have
sign
to.
a waiver,
Dwayne, hold
no,
on.
listen.
No, I have held on for you 3 times. Okay, I have
No,
held
because
on for you for 3 times.
I'm not gonna sit here and get called a point blank fucking liar when you sign a fucking waiver in the fucking office stating at any call you go on, whether it's a broken bone or death, and I can go down and pull that because it's a public file and fucking copy it. Really, you think I'm gonna sit here and fucking lie? I've done 3 of these fucking ride-alongs, one in the dangerous fucking city here in Stark County.
They won't put you on a ride along with that. They won't put you on a call for that.
That's what
It is an
Dwayne.
insurance. It is.
I know that
It is a liability insurance that they cannot do it. Look it up in any
If you
jurisdiction in
sign
the
a
United
waiver,
States, Dwayne. No, it doesn't matter if you sign a waiver or not, because if they put your life in danger, there is not a waiver
yes,
that
there
will cover
is.
your life.
When I signed that
I'm
waiver,
sorry.
I knew what I was putting myself
Okay,
into,
here.
and if I
I'll
died,
just put it this way.
you know,
I will just put it this way. Please furnish it, and I will shut up.
I have even more firsthand
I'm
knowledge
sorry.
than he does.
And I can't sit here and listen to someone tell me that they went on a ride along like that and be I can't. It just
His ride along that he went on was a ride along that went bad. And because I talked to officers that it happened, it was a call that went bad.
A call that goes
Okay,
bad is one thing, but a call that he was called to something that involved that, there
That happened either here in Maslin or Canton, and that did happen with a cop that he knew he should have never been in the car. But I can back him up because I do know the cops here in Maslin and Canton, and on both nights, Dwayne ended up coming back here. I do believe. I know he came back
What do you
here
mean
on.
both nights? Why was he even allowed to go back a second time if that happened? That wouldn't happen.
The one here in Maslin, I think it was a call that went wrong, and then in Canton.
After that, he would have been basically blacklisted from going on ride-alongs.
No, he just had to wait on both of the ride-alongs that he went on. he wasn't blacklisted. His one ride along was cut short because it went wrong. And the only thing that he was told is that he had to wait 6 to 8 months before he could go back on another ride along.
Well, different jurisdictions have different rules, so I'm gonna leave my comments at that.
Yeah. That's the way it works. So, I mean, I'm not here to discount, anybody's personal experiences. So, I can't say one way or the other. So, it's just interesting what places allow. But the whole point is that this is why this is a good point, because if things like this are happening, this is the reason why too. We have to have something more uniform, something more across the board.
I'm going to go check on him and make sure
Yeah, go check on him.
it's okay, because I'm not hearing anything. So I'm going to go check on him real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hello, where have you? I just saw you pop in.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Hello.
Indeed, he says with his.
Oh, indeed. Oh, I didn't hear.
No,
I
he's
was
not.
like, I looked down for 1 second, and then it was like chaos, and then I looked back up, and
Well,
then
That's
you're
usually
here.
when you'll find me is chaos.
here's the thing. He
Yeah.
doesn't want to show his sexiness, I think.
Chaos.
Supposedly that's what I apparently exude anyways.
I don't know. One of my listeners, viewers, whatever you want to call them, I think you're pretty nice looking. So,
Well.
and I said that on Tuesday too, I think. So,
Well, I do appreciate the compliment, so thank you.
yeah, I don't know which way you swing, but I don't know which one you want to hear about.
Well, compliments are compliments to me, so
No,
I tend to lean one way. But
well,
nowadays that's all faux pas. You kind of have to go along with the herd. So whatever they're doing is whatever's the in thing to do.
right, we got to all be pansexual, right?
Right. Yeah, you
Whatever
have
the
to have
fuck
at
that
least,
means.
like something else associated. or
Well,
else
they have really made a case to vilify what they like to moniker the cis gender. So yeah, see, he knows what I'm referring to. But it's
Pansexual.
pansexual. But
well, I truthfully or full disclosure, no pun intended, I was engaged to a pansexual. So,
What the
but
hell?
no,
does
it's I don't know. It really does seem to be more of like whatever is trendy on TikTok or Twitter or whatever. It's not actually what like people really think or feel or what they really are. Because I've actually come across a lot of like stuff as like people who are now after say transitioning or whatever, saying that they regret doing it, and it's because that they were like swept up by a lot of like the people saying, oh, you should be like this pioneer in this movement and blah blah blah, and kind of just using them almost as like this sort of papal magnet, so to speak.
Well, because it brings a lot of attention and energy now. Like, if somebody's coming out that way, they put a lot of, like I said, energy and focus towards bringing them up through that. So they're told to speak out places. They're told to, raise their voice. So it's kind of like an amping, so to speak. And so I think people get caught up in that. And even if they don't necessarily want to, they end up feeling like they almost have to transition at a certain point because they've, accumulated this new identity. And then a lot of people do it and regret it and then change back.
Correct. And so the same goes with the sexuality aspect of it specifically, who you decide to sleep with.
because it really just does come down to a choice, as far as I feel.
What about
You could go
you?
either way. I know people who've gone both ways. I know people who've gone both ways, then end up one way, and then maybe sometimes going back the other way. Like, people are fickle, like they really are, and so I think it
And there
basically
never
just comes
used to
down to a
just be a
choice.
label for it either. Like
Yeah, and that's
there
that's
was
my whole
no
legitimate
like
gripe is this
you were just
labeling and
freaky.
putting
Like
people
there
into
was no
Oh,
like
boxes.
name for it.
No, there's always
Because
been
there
a
is no
label for
name
it.
for being, well, like straight or hetero, and now
Yeah,
like
those
you
were
have
like gay or
cis or
straight, but like
Bisexual.
yeah,
yeah,
It's always
bisexual.
been
Yep, that was
there.
the big one. Yeah.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. And now
That
you
is the
have
only
all
one you
these
needed
different
besides that
definitions, and it's
was
like,
bisexual.
wow,
Like that was it. It kind of put
yeah,
everybody else in that category.
yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I guess now that's even like offensive to people, and that's
It
like
is
that's where I
offensive.
get this legitimate gripe, because I'm like, you talk about all this and respecting other people or respecting your wishes, and it's like, well, what if people, you know, don't really feel that it's necessary to like have people use the right pronouns in their profiles, and if they don't, they get like ostracized from their friends and shit like that. It's like, that's not, like, first off, that's not very tolerant, which is
No, it's
what,
not. It's very
supposedly,
intolerant.
the labels are, intended to be. um and just, it's definitely not inclusive either. It's
No.
very exclusive, to be honest. It's basically like high school cliques,
Well, it
but
is.
just
It
on
puts
a
everybody
grander
in little
scale.
boxes, farther
Yep.
away from being together, right?
Yeah.
And then it alienates people because then if you have like 100 different boxes you can put people in, right? Because now there's like 100 different genders
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever, and
there's
all
at
this.
least.
Then I'm put in a box by myself. And how often will I find someone else who also fits into said box?
Correct. And
You
trust
know,
me, for
then
being
you're kind of
somebody
on
who's
your own
single,
island
that
by
comes up
yourself.
often.
If I'm like a plant sexual or something, and I want another plant sexual, how long does it take me to find someone, which that's like a real gender, like you're attracted to plants or sexual identity or whatever.
No, there was a guy that legally married his car in the United States.
Yes.
I can't remember.
Right.
See what I
No, that
mean?
is
There
an
was a guy
actual
that
thing.
legally
I think
married
it's meant
the
to
fucking car.
Legally married his house plant.
because like
Or
a
actually, I
friend
think
of
it was
mine's
like an
uncle-
orchid, wasn't it?
Oh no, I mean, in different countries, you see shit like this happening all the time because
Well,
they
a
have
friend's
different
uncle was like, what just happened to being queer? Like, we don't need all these. He's gay. And he's like, what happened to queer? Like, everybody used to just be okay and you were queer and it was okay and it was fine and you didn't need all these labels.
Well, that's the thing that
Yeah.
I brought up the other night is that why do we have the Q on there? That used to be an insult. Why is that now acceptable?
Yes.
You couldn't call
That
anybody
did. That
a queer.
actually
That
used
was
to be
like
an
calling
insult.
somebody a fag. It was bad. Like, it was not good news. It was a
Oh,
slur.
you damn queer. Well, now it's like, you damn queer.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Don't you like me? I shake my booty.
Well, I
But then you
suppose
don't
that
even get
does
offended
play
and
into
say, I'm
the
not a queer,
empowerment
I'm
aspect.
transsexual or, whatever it is, right? So it
Right.
might not even be that anymore. They might get offended by that. And that's the thing where I think like there's these 100 different things that brings people further apart instead of closer together,
Correct.
just being human beings, being sexual, which is natural. And
Correct.
that with people just having all different types of access to things now. You can go places, you can buy things, you can order shit, you can watch shit. There's gonna be
Yep.
a new flavor of the week for everybody because there's just
correct.
so much like mentally stimulating in that realm now.
Well, and here's
Preferences
the
will
thing is
change
that
due to the exposure.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just preferences will naturally change just due to the exposure of these
Exactly.
different facets or aspects of sexuality.
Well, and even that with the advent of the internet and the amount of
Yeah.
porn that's out there. I mean,
Right.
people's sexuality can change from that because they're like, "Oh my god, I didn't know it would be like that." And then, you get a lot of experimentation, and then you get a lot of people who are like, whoa, I'm totally into this, you know?
You know what?
Right.
And here's the thing with people's sexualities, though, too. You know, is a lot of people's sexualities can also diverse from trauma.
True.
Very true.
Take
Very
it
true.
Absolutely.
take it in like in my circumstance. I was abused by males, and somehow I ended up coming out to be bisexual. At a very young age, was abused. From the age of 5 to 10. Somehow now, I'm bisexual. And I've seen it with a lot of other kids. Because I was locked up in a facility, with nothing but males, and they said that their sexuality, if they were gay, bi, pansexual, is all because of the fact that they were sexually molested or sexually abused by the people. And
Groups do change too. Groups, if there's groups of people in these situations, things like that. It's always been something that people know about and have joked about, but it is real. And I do think it does happen.
Right.
And I want to say that most people don't want to acknowledge, because I think if we even acknowledge trauma and sexuality, a lot less people would be a lot less broken. Because they don't even connect that trauma and sexuality go together. But you have to think about it. It's intimate. It's close. It's all these things that if you have trauma.
Right.
It's
and here's the thing is, like, my counselor.
Hold on. Everybody's trying to talk at once. Hold on.
My counselor tried to say, that none of my trauma was based off my sexuality. And Mike, I wanted to say,
think that's an ignorant statement, though, because it
was. My mom had to remove from my case.
Hold on, Dwayne. I think all of our experiences shape our reality, right? And that's one of the things on my show, is that all our thoughts create our reality, right? And so my reality is going to be different from the next guy's, and different from yours, Mike, or different from TLO's, because of our unique experiences. And so to say that it couldn't or doesn't happen often, I think is completely wrong, because, a lot of women, they've always said, a lot of loose women have daddy complex. There's a reason why people have come to this mental conclusion, because there is trauma in sexuality and people don't think about that. Not saying that's every woman's issue, but it is a big issue for some women, where then they try to find that love and comfort through types of sexuality. And so I think until we actually realize and recognize in each individual that trauma does kind of shape who we are in that way, I think it's doing a disservice to try to understand sexuality as a whole, or try to change it. Because are these people reacting to trauma from their sexuality why they want to change it? You see, and that could be something that if they healed within themselves, maybe they wouldn't feel like that at all. I'm not saying that 100%, but I'm just saying I think a lot of these people are taking their traumas, turning it into, oh, well, I can change everything about my sexuality because I don't want to think about that type of sexuality. And now I've moved on and focused and projected to this new sexuality without ever dealing with the feelings that got me to that point to begin with.
In the DSX 50, which is a book they use to
hold on, let's let Mike and TLO respond to that, because I think that was a really important cutoff right there. What do you think?
Well, no, I totally agree with that statement, and I believe it does create in itself another trauma, just because people are altering or trying to alter their reality to try and cope, and that obviously doesn't usually pan out very well. So in itself, it's like a dark hole that you can keep getting lost down, and that's where a lot of people get lost in, is that dark hole.
Well, and I think, in my opinion, I think that's where a lot of people find comfort. Is very strange.
It is strange, isn't it? Isn't it weird to say that you would find comfort in the trauma, but I mean, I've dated.
But there's always outliers. There's
well,
there's always an exception to the curve.
Isn't it? You're kind of working it out.
Here's the thing.
Let Mike finish though, Dwayne.
Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
But I mean, I've dated a couple of girls who have been in those actual situations. Okay. And they're looking for that type of person. you know, and it gets very weird at times, but it's like, things are okay. But I mean, for me,
Do you think it's a type of therapy for them to play it out?
It,
I think
it,
it is. I think it is for everybody.
it can be, because look at it like this here for a minute.
So can I play a devil's advocate here for a sec?
Sure.
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
Devil's advocate.
So we're sitting here talking about the LGBTQ community, which is great. I fully
Right.
back and support. Okay. Now, the one area that I have seen here lately, and I'm probably about ready to start some fire. But
Go ahead.
does it? Oh damn! So
Come on with it.
when it comes to the LGBTQ community, they've added the Q, okay,
Right.
which is fine. You know what? You want to be recognized, so be it. You know, recognition is great. Fuck it. Okay, everybody wants to be recognized for whatever purpose, whether you want the limelight, whether
It's
you
the
just
land
want
of
to
the
be recognized.
participation trophy, man. So you gotta
Well,
have
I
everybody.
wasn't even going to get into that. But now where my concern comes in, and it is actually, it's become a real big thing in Colorado and California. I don't know about the other states, and Mike probably knows where I'm going with this. So you have the LGBTQ, they've added the Q, and now they're trying to add, oh, what letter is it for it?
P. Pedophile.
P. Yes, thank you. They're trying to add P for this pedophilic fucking
Oh yes.
obsession,
And we
and it
started
is getting
covering
hard.
this a few years
It-
ago when the American Academy of Psychiatrics came out and stated that they were going to start explaining why this was a sexual orientation. And once we saw academia take it on first as a concept, and then we saw people on Twitter talking about minor attracted persons and all this weird shit, we knew that there was going to be a push through academia towards this type of mentality and behavior and allowing it to be okay.
Yeah.
Because if science and academia and the higher ups say it's okay, well, now it becomes
Then
okay. So
You know what? And here's
right,
my
and hold on, Dwayne. Okay, my thing about that is, okay, I have multiple problems with that, you know, and this is one where I can't. Normally, I'm the guy that will sit there and say, well, here, I understand this part about this side, and I understand this part about this side, but I just, who in the fuck had in their right mind? Yeah, they're
Right.
okay. 'Cause I'm sorry, who in the fuck in their right mind, if they want to consider it a right mind,
right.
decided one day that, I mean, there's whole ass senators and fucking and congressmen and whatnot backing this.
That's
And
upsetting.
It is upsetting, isn't it?
It is, because if you look back, I guess I'm old school on the justice part of it, but if you were to look back 100 years ago, they wouldn't have thought nothing of a pedophile being strung up.
No.
But now, if you sit there and say, "Oh, I'm going to go after the guy that got my kid,"
Even the girls
you're-
who have killed the men who have held them captive, they've went to jail over it. Went to
Right.
jail over it.
So, like, here's
Right.
my thing. So, like,
and
would
that,
it be
and that's
wrong? I was just interjecting. Would it be wrong if we started doing that now? Start going out and stringing up these motherfuckers?
Well, they already arrested a guy in Florida who had a list who was going to start going out and taking out these pedophiles for the greater good
now,
of
okay. Now, on that part, as much as I support that motherfucker, okay,
Right.
I would buy him the rope to do it, but it's a little extreme, because at that point you're putting together a list and you're a dumbass because he literally wrote down the list. That's the fucked up part. Okay, he wrote down the list. That's where you made your mistake. Okay, anybody that's a serial killer will tell you, don't write down your list. Just memorize that motherfucker and go about it. Okay,
Right.
don't talk about it. Be about it. Just go do it. Okay.
Right.
But but I'm also of the same mind that fuck lethal injection, fuck hanging, fuck all this. Put 7 people in a line. Give one of them a live round. Don't tell them who has the live round, and just fucking fire. Okay.
Now, wait a minute. That's where I kind of got to disagree with that one because here's my thing.
They're the lowest of the low, though.
But I would go old school.
They're the lowest form of human being.
Well, here's the thing. I would go old school, tie them up, put them in a fucking place infested with rats, and fucking let the rats eat their balls off.
I mean,
but here's the thing. Okay, I see where you're coming from, but I mean, we do got to somewhat resemble a civilized society at some point in life,
right?
Why be civilized?
We can't go around reeking all the pedophiles and turning them into reek and shit. Like, we can't do that.
But
Dwayne, I'm not saying you're wrong on that. I'm not saying you're wrong.
No.
But at the end of the day, if we start doing something like that, then we're going to promote the animosity that we already have, and we don't need any more animosity.
The psychology of mob mentality and going back to shit that we don't necessarily.
I mean, but aren't they fucking representing that same mind?
Yeah, but you got to remember public opinion. Hold on, Dwayne. You got to remember public opinion of events like that becomes skewed, right?
Yeah.
And so you'd have to have something that to the public resembled justice, right?
Yes.
But also did it in a way that was clean and that, you could move on to the next thing. Whereas if we start torturing unnecessarily, then what's the next thing people get tortured for? It opens up a slippery slope of where do we stop and then who's included and who's not included. And it's a very dangerous thing.
It goes down to that saying, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 2 less do.
Exactly. Right. So, it's already bad enough. We have to put these people to death, but let's at least try to do it in a way that resembles something human and something that resembles civilized behavior, which a firing squad would not be the end of the world for that.
Right. And the reason I say firing squad, because we don't need to make a big spectacle of it. We don't need to have lethal injection. Those chemicals cost entirely way too fucking much. People have been on death row for fucking 20, 30 years.
And half the time they don't work, and there is no recipe to kill someone, so that's half the problem.
Well,
right.
The easiest thing for death row is give all inmates guns with unlimited ammo.
Yeah.
Well,
my honey has always wanted to put all the criminals on an island, especially pedophiles, and then give them like a choice of weapon when they get in the door, and then just let them go free.
If we're gonna do that, we may as well make a TV show out of it.
That's what I mean. We could watch
There's already a movie.
Yeah, I know there was a movie, but
but I want to address something Mike said for a minute earlier because I was. And I'm switching topics here from then again.
Why are you switching topics? No, you
can't.
Who are you?
You can't because I've got the ultimate thing for this island that we're dreaming up.
Yes. See?
Oh boy.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast.
I've got it. We did this already.
Yep. Then let them do the purge.
Well, right.
Give them weapons.
Not only that,
let them choose.
I think you guys just like the sound of that noise.
I like the emergency alert system. I'd like to get that when I do weather alerts. I can play that. That would be good.
The other part is, then
I can come on and be like the National Weather Service. See, it'll be good.
No,
you have the voice for it.
You know what I do? You know when we do hurricanes, that's what I do. So, you guys know that Ada is going to potentially hit Florida. So I've already warned Tim.
I gotta fucking worry. I've already warned Tim as well.
I warned him before you warned him. Hush.
And actually, I warned Tim a day before you. Actually,
I warned Tim.
Oh, good God! Are we really having a fucking?
All right, put him away.
First,
put him away. My feet are getting wet. All right.
Really? I mean, really.
Oh, hold
Really?
on. What did? Oh, okay. MGTOW said put them on a ship, and then set them adrift, and bar any country from letting them port. Now that might be cool.
No, that's stupid because that would
No.
just create a big ass pirate ship.
It
Well,
would be
not
a
only
big
that,
ass pirate.
not
Maybe
only
like
that.
baby kids.
That'd be like
pedophile.
some Mad Max pirate ship shit.
It'd
That'd
be
be
like
like the
these kids
Overlord
pedophile.
pirate.
Now wait a minute. Now wait a minute. If we do that, we can possibly get them killed by the Coast Guard. Did we ever think about that?
Oh, please don't go there with me, please.
I still say the island works. We drop them all off on island. Let them pick
But we
their
already
choice.
tried that with
Like
Australia.
Alone. Have you guys ever seen the show Alone?
You know,
Yes.
this is true, TLO. Hold up. TLO just really brought up a good point. Those that do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Okay,
For real though.
and we tried that with Australia, and they started their own
Yes.
fucking. They started their own
Yeah,
community.
it's
Okay,
true. It
It's
was
its
a
own
prison island,
country and on
wasn't
a
it?
continent.
when they say
Yeah.
Yes, a
anything that
penal
can kill
island.
you,
You
when
gotta
they
give
say
them a little
everything,
shitty island though.
And
You
we
gotta give
did
like
give
a
them
little
guns.
shitty
Well,
island.
we didn't give them.
Hold
The
up.
Brits gave them
Philippines that
guns.
gets
Okay,
like 100 inches
hold
of
on.
rain, they get washed away.
Scarlet, when you say give them a shitty island, okay, can you name a place shittier than
One that
Australia?
is a
Okay,
jungle
because
and shit that they'd have to
everything
cut down. Thick
Australia-
ass jungle.
Wait,
Thick ass
Every-
jungle.
Australia can kill you. Okay,
Right?
everything in
Am I
fucking
wrong,
Australia
Tilo? Thick
can
ass
kill you.
jungle island. Shit.
That's how
Well,
Australia was formed.
Australia has the bush though, and it was like flat and shit and like a desert.
No,
Yeah,
it
but-
is flat in a lot of
But now
deserts.
wait a minute. Here's
Okay,
my thing. That's a fucking.
They
Australia
dropped
form.
everybody in
come
fucking
on.
Let's make a
Satan's
man-made
asshole.
island. Okay, got it, everybody. Man-made fucking island, right? Like China's built out in the South China Sea. We build them a fucking man-made island, right?
Okay,
and
they
then we
only
can
built that so they
shitty-ass
could try and get
conditions.
Taiwan back. Okay, that's not a good example. And they failed to do it.
oh,
That is a good example.
That is a good. I agree.
It wasn't man-made. It at least was a piece of land that existed.
Okay, but
But
if we
now-
try to make a
but-
man-made island, that's gonna take fucking years.
No, it
But now-
doesn't. China does it in like 2 months.
Because that's China.
Yeah.
They ain't got nothing else better to do.
They're building all these little bases
They
out in
just
South
took all
China
the
Sea
ri-
and shit. Oh, is it
They
down?
just took all of their rice and fucking put it in one fucking area of the ocean and made a fucking
It's just
island.
rice
Okay,
mountain. Yeah, it
Okay,
just
but,
Yeah.
but listen to
Okay.
this.
Yeah.
Only
But-
fucking reason China does that because they ain't got nothing else better to do in their fucking hands besides trying to start wars and shit.
no.
No,
they
they learned the technique. They
That'd be
learned
like
the
a damn
technique from
vacation.
Dubai,
You know, from
people.
Epstein Island.
Yes.
They learned the technique from Dubai because the people of the UAE perfected that when they started making all those man-made islands
See
over
what
in
I'm
that
saying?
super
You can make
city.
a prison
Now-
island.
And they took
Okay,
and
now-
applied
now
that
that-
to that.
Yes. Yes.
Now that we've gotten back to some fact,
Because otherwise they wouldn't have done that shit before. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
It's effective
Now-
because
They
you can
would've.
create your own land that now you can still have as your rule, right? So
Now-
I can create all these little man-made islands and say, oh, well, they're part of,
Yes,
Scarlet Land.
That's exactly
and,
right.
Yeah.
But now my other issue with it, now back to reality a little bit. The other issue is because the death penalty literally costs more money in 1 year than I
True.
make. Okay.
That's true because we have to feed them, we have to clothe them, we have to, medical care if they're sick.
Right. And I'm sorry, if they have been convicted and beyond any reasonable doubt, they are convicted, whether they're a murderer or a rapist, if they are convicted and get the not even Alcatraz will work. It's falling apart. They could chip through the wall at this
I
point.
mean, we could build something like an Alcatraz, I guess.
Or
like
we
a
can just
giant,
fucking buy Alcatraz and redo it.
Yeah, but we don't make shit good anymore. It would like fall
Yeah,
apart.
we really don't.
We don't.
But no, I mean that's why I say just fucking give me a 45, fucking put a bullet in them and walk away.
Bullets are
It's
cheap.
so much cheaper.
So I mean that
Yeah,
is
30
a good situation because bullets are cheaper than the island or any of this other shit. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
I mean,
probably
I
get
haven't
a
heard Mike's
federal
opinion
discount,
about
5
this.
cents a bullet or something. From
Well, Mike's
government bullet market.
It's
What's Mike's opinion?
We didn't hear shit
That
from
still
him.
sounds awful purgy to me.
I want Mike's
Okay,
opinion.
yes,
though.
If it sounds awful, purgy, yes, you're right. But it is one of the most, I'm sorry, it's one of the most humane ways. The only other humane way to do this, okay, is the only chemical compound that is guaranteed to fucking kill you. Cyanide. Give them all cyanide fucking pill and
Why
call it
don't
a
we
day.
castrate
That
them?
is very true.
No, just like the
That would be it.
Nazis did right before they were about to be captured.
Right.
Yeah, cyanide.
Gas chambers.
Now,
Little,
hold up.
pills.
Now, okay, this is where my interesting little trivia of life comes in. Do you guys know the origins of Mike? You probably do. So,
Come in.
or Mike. But do you guys know the origins of the ball that sits atop? And I can't remember the exact name, but the ball that sits atop of a flagpole.
The brass ball, because we're so great.
No. If
Oh.
you notice, in every flag in war, they had the brass ball. And in some of those, if you were to be captured, it had a 45 shell, and a cyanide pill.
What?
Look it up.
That's dope.
Man, I was gonna go for a comedy bit
I
on that.
wouldn't,
That
I
didn't
wouldn't put
work.
it past them.
Now, my mom just said something, okay?
I thought
we
you were
fucking just
building me up for a
today?
comedy bit, but no, fuck, I got screwed on that one. Fuck you.
So my mom just said something, okay? Because my mom came in, check on me again. She went like, "Why don't we just torture them for days and wish they were dead?" But that's giving them
we
pleasure,
can't recall the pedophiles. That'd take too long. And who would want to do that? They'd get PTSD from reeking them all day.
I know. I have a great idea.
Skin Boy.
What?
I choose Skin Boy to round up all the pedophiles.
Oh, he's gonna be like our reek tamer.
Oh, he could actually round him up pretty quick. I mean, he's got a 17-year-old daughter, so I mean, he would round him up real quick, I'm sure.
Now wait a minute. I don't.
I have a 16-year-old daughter,
And I'm
a
not saying
9-year-old daughter, and a 3-year-old daughter, and 2 granddaughters.
and I'm
And
not
another one.
saying that he'd use him to,
I'll join him.
you know, but man, and I
Oh no, I wouldn't use them, but it gives me motivation.
right, but I had in my previous marriage a stepdaughter who was when I met her 15, and my God, you go to Walmart and you'd see the looks, and it's like I'm gonna cut
Right.
shit out of you.
See, but Migto makes a point. You can't kill pedos that don't kill their victims. If you start killing pedos that don't kill their victims, they'll kill their victims.
Why
Makes
does
a
that
good
make
point.
sense? Whoa. You just got done telling us a little bit about your story. Why does that not make sense to you?
Hold on.
I don't understand.
Now, see,
that.
I didn't have the chance to kill my person. He kind of did that himself.
I know you didn't, but wouldn't you be glad if somebody else did?
Yeah, I mean, my mom makes a good point. If none of y'all heard him, but no, no, because here's the thing, I would want to do it. Like, here's the thing, this is my thought, but my thought process is kind of fucked up on this. How about we have the victims that they fucking traumatized fucking kill them?
Well, no, that's another option. That's a perfect option.
I mean, I think them having them victims standing there with a fucking gun in their hand, just ready to blow their fucking head off.
No guns, man. We got to go medieval Braveheart on this.
But bullets, like Scarlet said, bullets are cheap. But here's my thing. So, like you were saying, so you said I shared some of my story.
Pretty easy. A
sickle
easy.
Okay, good point. But here's my thing, though. Like, I still wish I could get that day where I can kill the motherfucker that did that to me, and I'm not gonna say who it is.
We all do. And by the way, I just had to fuck with you guys on the flagpole thing. It was just entertaining.
You've been sitting on the flagpole, haven't you?
That's
Oh
why
yeah, I
was
was
involved.
spinning, baby, spinning.
You know, my mom just made a fucking point.
I waited till it rained.
They're all sick and demented and twisted in their heads that no form of torture might ever fucking phase them. That's the thing.
Exactly. That was the point we were trying to make earlier. Is okay. There's some twisted motherfuckers. Okay, I'm a kinky son of a bitch, but I'm good with the rest with that kind of shit. Okay, and so yeah, a 15 or a 30 cent bullet, call it a day, walk away, send in the cleaning crew, and enjoy the rest of your night.
If you catch them.
But you know what? And here's the thing. You know, while I'm waiting for Scotland to get back, I want to answer your question, Mike.
Let the victim get the reward, in my opinion.
Right. And if my dad was still alive, like, look, if my father was still alive, I would love to get that revenge. I would love it. I would love to get a hold of the 8 other motherfuckers my dad let do that to me at the same time. I would love to, but the possibility of me ever finding them again is quite fucking hard. I'm just going to be honest.
Right. So what are you going to do in the meantime?
I just kind of forgave him, fucking moved on.
Well, so there you go. That's the best you can do, man. I mean, that's the best you can do. We're trying to find out the resolution, I think, kind of what we would do if we had the chance. And I don't think, honestly, I don't think any of us would ever have the chance, to be honest.
Right. And here's the thing too, is like, I wanted to bring this up, since we're on this subject, people that, and Toegator brought up a good fucking point here. He's kooky, but he can do away with all that, and I've noticed this because I'm a part of the BDSM community, and Tila's already, I'm gonna go about this.
Well, I could, I could have lived without going to sleep with that info tonight.
With most of the kinky fuckers out there, aren't they just somewhat trying to relive what they felt to process the pain?
Some. I think some.
Yeah.
Not most.
Yeah.
What about age regressors? It's a form of therapy, and it's in the DXS 50.
Okay, well, let's not roll that fucking carpet back out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really therapy, dude. I mean,
yeah,
I didn't know that carpet was rolled out. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, did you check out for that one? Because we brought up the whole age regression and the whole that's what started the whole pedophile being added to the LGBT.
Yeah,
it is in the DXS 50. If someone it is in the DXS 50, which is the way that therapists diagnose people, because they go through this book and they find the correct diagnosis. But what?
Yeah,
But here's the thing: it's not always it's not ever sexual for them. It's their regression back to the age that shit happened, just to try to get through that moment of panic.
I'll give you that, but I don't think we need to delve into that too deep, because I myself am in therapy. I found things that have been in the back of my mind from high school, but I think it's not about a book. It's about a therapist being good, honestly. But we shouldn't be. Honestly,
Yeah,
I'm going to say right now,
I
we
have to
don't
agree with
dive
that.
into that. We don't need to dive into that, dude.
I was just
that's one of the few things I have. I would normally dive into just about anything at first, but on that one, because there is there is the kink side to it. Okay, fine, but on age regression, that there's deeper issues there, and
okay. Now wait a minute. If we're gonna say age regression has that same thing, you go into the BDSM community. Watch this. DDOG would be the same fucking thing. Technically, if you want to get into it and be honest about
DDOG,
it.
What?
If we want to, if we don't want to dive into the head of age regression, DDOG would dive basically into the same fucking category.
I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even want to know why you know that. I don't even know.
because I was going to school to be a therapist.
No, you aren't.
Well, Dwayne isn't not in like those groups, but he is in the community, and I mean, people talk about these things.
Correct.
And
You know,
also
even
going
if
to
you
school
don't
to be a
necessarily
therapist.
partake, you know.
You know, so I know about these things and wanting to be a therapist or even get my CDCA where I have to deal with these certain situations. You know,
Oh yeah,
these certain
and I
situations
mean,
are going to pop
the
up.
one thing that I was just trying to bring up about it was, does the connection with trauma that we're not recognizing, does that affect their decision making? Which I think it does. And if they worked through said trauma, could it help? Which I think it could.
It could.
And
I've
so
done
that
it.
was just really the main gist. And to wrap it back up, that's what it was about. That I think that people could use that as a way, right?
Yeah.
You know, and
So,
like
I mean,
here's my thing though, like and for someone that has dealt with a shit ton of trauma and now has all these fucking diagnoses from it, and I'm going to speak on fucking personal experience if you guys want to talk about fucking mental health.
Well, that's what I mean. Now you're working through it, and could that help you understand more of your
Yeah,
identity?
but that's after being out of fucking in and out of hospitals.
Yeah, that's how it
in and
usually
out of,
happens. I mean, it's not going to be like overnight trauma goes away. It takes years and years, and some people,
when you're peeling back these scabs, and I'm going to call these things emotional scabs or past scabs that just sit there, that just sit at like the base of your fucking soul.
And that's what I'm talking about. Do these scabs, quote unquote, need to be healed to make people whole? That's what I've been talking about. That was just the idea. If you heal that,
it can be dangerous though. It
yeah,
can
but
be
is
dangerous.
that what is holding people back though?
Yeah, but okay, but yeah, at the same time, yeah, okay. So trying to push through the trauma, it can be beneficial, but at the same time, but if it's been
obviously, you can't just break through all at once and act like it's going to be great for you. But my thing is if people just work on it and work through it, because I think that's a lot of what we're seeing right now. Is a lot of people's past traumas and traumas that have happened, whether they're even, government inflicted, are coming out now because people haven't dealt with it.
But here's the thing, though.
Definitely a lot of that.
It can be dangerous at the same time, too. If it's been so many years, I'm going to go like 15 years with it being undealt with.
Yeah, it might be hard, but I don't think it's dangerous. I think
can
it
be,
is
because watch
hard.
this, and I've seen this.
It's difficult.
If it's 15 years out and they're already processed it in their own way to where it doesn't need to be fucked with.
Yeah, but it might need to be fucked with because maybe that's why they're processing things that way. So that's my point of the day.
But I'm saying if they process
with intervention, would they feel different?
Not all the time, no. Look at me. A lot of my shit I had to do.
Would a lot more feel different is my point.
In my personal opinion,
I think 100% it would, because if they actually dealt with the traumas that got them there to begin with. Because here's the thing. A lot of people deal with acceptance issues, right? And a lot of this whole LGBTQ thing has to do with acceptance, right? But if they could understand that they will be accepted no matter how they are, even if they are who they are without changing, I think that would help a lot of people. But they don't have that.
Right, but we can't.
So they feel by being this new persona, this new person, they get more attention, they're more liked. But they just don't understand, I think, a lot of times, how to cut the shit from people in their lives. And
but
just
here's my thing. We can't just wrap trauma. And here's my thing, and this is, and I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything when I say this, so please don't.
But I wasn't talking about you in general.
No,
I was thinking more about
what you said. I know you're not talking about me in general. I was responding to what you said. Here's the thing, though. We can't just wrap trauma or something like that around a community because and this is why. Yes, a lot of people that are in the LGBTQ community have realized. So take it for like a person. Say a person was raped by a female. Okay, they, and it's a guy. They may turn gay. But if that helps them process through that trauma on their own to where they can eventually get back with the female, I would say don't let a fucking professional.
Yeah, but do
fuck
they
with that.
know that they need to heal this trauma as the issue? I think that's the problem, is that a lot of these people don't know that they should be healing the trauma that got them to this point, because to me, it's they want to change who they are because they don't like the life they had as the person, because they don't feel like that's who they are. But just because you change your physical appearance, does that change mentally how you've dealt with situations? Are you acknowledging your own personal role in the situations? Because then you could change yourself to the new person and still not get anywhere you want to go in life, you see. So I think that's a really big issue, is that what I see is basically reaching out for help to try to cover traumas that they're not even acknowledging, even though they acknowledge the process is traumatic.
Right, but here's the thing, though. Like,
You know what I mean? If you
can't-
acknowledge the process of itself of transitioning as traumatic, why would you not want to heal said trauma?
because you don't need, and this is my personal opinion. After a while, and I'm going through counseling and dealing with the trauma, you don't always need a fucking therapist picking at your fucking head and seeing what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah, but that's
Sometimes
half
you
the
can do
problem,
it-
is that you've never let anybody in to help you with your traumas. So you see what I mean? It's kind of a double-edged sword in that regard.
You know what? And it's a really gray area when it comes to mental health, because when you're
It is,
diagnosed with
because-
something with this DSM-50, this fucking book out there.
It's the DSMV. and
Yeah,
it's
DSMV. In with the DSMV, it's a fucking gray area because therapists use this fucking book to diagnose people, and 9 times out of 10, it's the incorrect fucking diagnostics. Because here's the thing, fucking call me.
I could diagnose everybody on right now with something just by looking at the DSMV.
And that's some fucking bullshit.
Mental pattern or whatever that fit.
And that's some
the
bullshit.
problem.
And that's some bullshit. Because here's the thing, with the DSM-10, here's the thing, I was diagnosed with high functioning autism, and I'm not even fucking autistic.
And now high functioning
fucking
autism
time.
doesn't even exist in the DSMV now.
It was with the older edition.
No, dude, it doesn't exist anymore. They call it all autism spectrum disorder. There's no such thing as Asperger's or any of that
But
shit. It's all the same thing now.
It's how my fucking therapist labels it as I'm considered high functioning because I'm
Doesn't
verbal.
exist.
Because
That diagnosis did exist, but it doesn't anymore. You're considered autism spectrum disorder.
I'm just saying how he fucking explained.
Oh, I know,
that,
but it used to exist, Dwayne. Like, even when my little dude was little, that diagnosis existed, but it does not anymore in the community. And that's what bothers me too, is like a lot of autistics will say, well, there's no such thing as low functioning autistics. And they're like, how dare you? We're all the same. No, you're not. You're running around talking on the internet where low functioning autistics legitimately are literally ripping their hair out, wearing diapers, smearing shit on the walls. So there's a difference between the two of you.
Now
You are
watch
not the
this.
same.
I work with the full autistic baseball team every year.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, there's a bunch of autistic people who will freak the fuck out if you say that people are low functioning.
Oh, I know.
And it's irritating as shit because it is not the same. As a parent of at one point who had a low functioning autistic, it's not the fucking same. They can't even sit here and act like it's the same because they can articulate their feelings, whereas their counterparts who are low functioning cannot. And so they are not the same.
Okay, let's go this route. Low functioning, I'm gonna go low functioning autistic people cannot speak, cannot take care of themselves. Like I'll use this for example. My coach's daughter probably would never be able to live by herself. Has severe sensory issues.
And that's way different than somebody saying, oh, I'm neurodiverse and I'm on the spectrum. And you know what I mean? Like, that shit really bothers me. And it's been a fight between a lot of low functioning autistic parents and these newfound, like, good doctor autistic types who are like, I'm a little quirky and I have an autism diagnosis. So, and it's like, dude, this ain't the same. I get you have you can mask and do all this other shit and hide it from people, but there's a whole other class of people who cannot. And to act like you're basically the same and that you function the same is an insult to everybody who has to struggle with a low functioning autistic person who they used to basically just call mental retarded. And so you would not be the same. And so that's the only thing is like when you start making these large swaths and groups instead of just fun, like I get that it is a spectrum and there's a low and a high. But when you try to dissolve that and make everybody in the same group, that's when you have problems.
You know
because
what?
it's great that you're all together, but it goes back to the LGBTQ thing. It's great to be all together, but they also want to be acknowledged individually. And that's something that we're losing, especially with like mental health diagnosis, anxiety diagnosis. Now everybody almost damn near has an anxiety diagnosis or depression diagnosis, which then affects the other care that other people can get. Because now everybody's in the same category. Now everybody's in the same group. Now everybody's in the same boat. And that's not how it works.
But here's my thing though. Like, okay, I guess my opinion is kind of a sway opinion on this. So.
See, Allie, exactly. For real though.
But here's my thing though too, is like there's different forms of PTSD out there.
We know the vaccines is what caused most of the issues, but
like here's the thing, like there's different forms of post-traumatic stress disorder. It could be from war, there's different forms and different levels.
Oh yeah.
Like mine after mine and Julie's breakup. My PTSD went from fucking great.
Well, PTSD, once you have it, then can manifest in other situations. You can have a primary diagnosis with the primary event that caused it, and then other secondary diagnoses that come on afterwards.
You know what? And this is how I feel about mental health. It's like it's they have it underrated. The suicide rate has went up because of this.
It's stigmatized.
One, there is a stigma. Anyone who has a mental health disorder is either contagious.
I can't tell you how many people are so afraid, especially who have kids, after they find out they have mental illness, or if they had mental illness before children, who are legitimately afraid that if they were to ever go against their partner, that they would come after them for their mental health issue and lose their children. That should never be an issue, unless your mental health isn't managed. But for most people, that shit's managed.
Do you know what? Here's my
that's
thing.
The issue that I have.
I'm tired of fucking people putting a stigma on mental health. And this is my last thing I'm going to say about this before I start.
Basically, they diagnose everybody with mental health. So you would think with how common it's become that it would become less stigmatized. But for so many years, to have anything wrong with you mentally showed signs of weakness, and therefore you weren't considered a whole human being. And they still act like that now if you have mental health diagnosis.
But here's the thing, fucking people still let their mental health, and this is the fucked up thing, and I'm going to shut up about this subject here about after I say this. People let their mental health define who they are. Here's the thing, if you really want to fucking grow over your mental health, I've been doing it a lot more through therapy, but not like with an actual therapist.
Well, that's because nobody's allowed to feel feelings. So, we're wondering why everybody's mental health is fucked up, but we don't teach people how to deal with the feelings that don't feel good. We're told, we just act like, oh, let's ignore it. Let's self-medicate. Let's do everything else but actually deal with those feelings and understand that it's okay to feel those feelings. If you don't feel okay for a couple days after something shitty happens, guess what? That's okay. People don't understand that, but they act like if they're depressed just a couple of days, like, oh, my whole life's over, I'm going to be in a funk forever. And then they keep themselves in that funk, and then it continues and continues and continues. Sometimes it's okay to be down in the dumps about things. You can't be polypositive about everything. Some people are, and that's okay. And I tend to keep that type of mentality and attitude. But there was a time where I wasn't, and where I didn't. And where I was always kind of very extremely pessimistic about things and very, very, questionable. But that doesn't mean that there's something wrong or mentally mentally not okay. We have to start teaching people that even if you feel like your whole life is falling apart, you just want to cry, you're just like a piling heap of nothing. That's normal to get emotional in whatever way that you see fit. And we've got to stop making this an issue.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Right, Tila? We just have to find a way, because if we could start supporting people through their shitty days, then they wouldn't feel like they're more of a burden. Because once you've had a few shitty days and you're like, oh, why are my days so shitty? And then you have a few more shitty days and you're like, damn, I've had shitty weeks. And then you're wondering, oh, well, do I have mental health issues because I'm going through it? No, sometimes people go through shit. And sometimes it's not a day you can get over it, or a minute, because now social media's got everybody wanting to do things instantly. It might take weeks or months or shit, in certain circumstances, years to get over whatever it is that has occurred. And I really need people to think about that. And I know that sucks when you really think about that. Like, damn, I have to feel like this for the long haul. But once you can accept that it is okay to not be okay, and I know that sounds very cliche, but really think about that. If you're just not feeling it, who says you have to? See, this is that, group mentality of, basically now they say, 10 days or more of feeling these feelings and you're depressed. 1 month, if you're depressed more than, 2 to 3 months, you're considered, or 6 months, you're considered dysthymic disorder, where you have chronic depression. That may not just, it could be the season of your life that you're in. And so I think people need to just accept the shitty feelings, accept the good feelings, but find a way to process the feelings to where you're not holding yourself to the fire over it, because you're going to feel how you're going to feel. Sometimes you can't help how feelings manifest through actions and situations.
But here's my thing is...
Hold on. Tila, what do you think of that? Because Dwayne's about to change the subject on me.
I totally agree. I might disappear here because my battery's getting low again. But yeah, it comes down to the fact that we're supposed to feel a certain way as we're supposed to be getting better. And if you don't fall in that or have that feeling, then you start really feeling bad about yourself. And it's another death spiral.
It is. It's hard.
It really is. Yeah.
And so, I mean, like I said, because
everything.
society tells you to feel a certain way. So then if you don't feel that way, then you fall in those lines and you feel like, well, what's wrong with me? What did I do?
Yeah, exactly.
Am I not
And then
doing
that
this
also
right?
is counterproductive to any of the help you're trying to get through any sort of therapist, because then you start questioning anything they say. And so, like, yeah, it compounds the whole situation.
Yep. And so that's what people really just have to remind themselves, like, especially this year with holidays potentially screwed for everybody. We probably will be going back into lockdowns through our different states. People have to remember that it's okay to not be okay, even if you're okay is not for a while, because guess what? Nobody's ever dealt with these set of situations before. And so nobody can tell you how you're supposed to feel during this time, because guess what? Nobody else has had to deal with it. So if you want to cry, scream, yell, you got to just get it out, because I think it's more to pay attention to those feelings and find healthy ways of release than holding it in and pretending like everything's okay for the sake of the greater good or the group, or oh, well, I haven't seen my friends lose it yet. Well, they don't have the same set of life circumstances. So we got to give ourselves more room to feel, instead of being, damn near robots, where if you have any sort of emotion or animation to you, there's something wrong with you. That's half of what's wrong with society now. Is if anybody's more animated than everybody else, just kind of walking drones, then you're a problem.
Pam, I'm so sorry to hear that.
What happened? Oh no, sad, Pam. I'm sorry your cat died. I'm sorry. That sucks. Animals leaving is always a hard time.
It is.
It really is. because they're your companions, they're your friends. And
They
then,
are.
you want to share your day with them, and then you're like, oh shit, they're not here. Oh, I
Yeah.
bet you they would think that's
All the
great.
stuff.
Oh shit, they're not here. Go to the food aisle, look at treats. Oh shit, they're not here. It's just like they
Yeah, the
become
little
such a
things.
part of your routine that
Yep.
it's hard to know what to do with yourself after that. Well, I'm sure you have I thought you had 2 cats, but that's sad.
Yes.
But I'm glad she lived a long life. That's one thing you can say is most cats do end up living long lives.
Yes, they do.
Hmm.
For the most part.
Yeah, unless they have issues when they're little. But other than that, they usually are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they get into something or.
Correct.
But that's
Yeah,
any
get hit
animal.
by a car.
Right. Yeah, we've been pretty lucky that we haven't had to deal with anything like that. That'd be hard. You know.
Yeah, I
Raising
discovered
cats
my
is
cat
so
at 13 years old. Actually, it was 12 years old. Plastered to the pavement on my way to school.
No, not your own kitty.
Yep.
Oh, that's devastating, Tila.
Still went to
Oh, I
school.
bet you were sick as a kid. I'd have been sick.
Yeah, I was pretty bummed.
That would have been a fucking bum deal. That sucks. And I mean, it does happen, unfortunately. Since I've lived up here, though, I've seen a lot of dead cats.
Yeah, that's because there's a lot of cats.
There
A
is, like
big
barn
boom of
kitties.
animals. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and barn kitties are a thing out here. So I think a lot of barn
Oh
kitties
yeah.
just go out and then get ran over because they
Yeah.
don't know better.
Well, yeah. You got the highways, and everyone's flying down them.
Well, that's what I mean. So it's just like, back roads, people are not observing speed limits. So
Nope.
there is that. But yeah, I've seen like 3 cats dead. It's
No.
disturbing. I mean, the other
It is
roadkill,
sad.
whatever, I still feel bad, but the
Yeah,
cats
you
I
do.
feel
You have a
really bad
moment.
for.
But yeah, when you see a cat dead on the road, it's a different story.
It is. It's sad because it's just like, damn, that was probably somebody's pet or a barn cat. I mean, not that barn cats don't matter, but dude, barn cats are a dime a dozen.
There
Like
are a lot of them.
when you have barn cats, your cats have cats, and then their cats have cats, and then their cats have cats, and then there's cats everywhere. Like all of a sudden, you have like 100 cats. No bullshit though, it's real.
No, it is real.
Yeah, because then
My
all of them will
uncle,
like
my
play
uncle
all at
owns
the
a
same
farm up
time,
in
and then they have
Fargo.
like a bajillion kitties at once.
Yep,
Bro,
he had a
I
bunch
remember
of
Mike and
cats and a
fucking
bunch of
alligator.
peacocks.
Yeah, but barn
Really?
kitties, they do matter, but there's just so many barn kitties, and you just cannot keep track of them. And barn kitties do what they want, so it makes sense that they would go out and then go to the road and get hit.
Does anyone know where fucking Tailgater and Mike went?
Freak Child had a call, and I don't know where Togator went.
I think that's who
Yeah.
he's on the phone with.
Oh.
Oh.
And the thing is, it was right after what I said.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm
Right.
just done with this point. I honestly think I'm gonna go to bed.
Okay. Just my show. I was talking about other shit. We were just talking about cats. You weren't even listening.
Right.
Right.
I gotta
The
pay
barn
attention.
cat. I was
I'm
just
already
talking
in it.
about barn cats.
I'm already
Your
in it.
neighbor has barn cats, Casimiro? Yeah, barn cats. I love barn cats. But like I said, there's usually a lot of them. That's how barn cats work. Oh, you can't fall asleep? Damn, that sucks. Oh, you know what we should... Oh, I had an article to read you guys. Hold on.
But I'm gonna say
We've
goodnight.
never been doing
I
a
love
lot
y'all.
of... What, Dwayne?
All right, Dwayne.
Peace. Love you, Dwayne.
Take it
Love
now.
We haven't been doing as much information and talking about, like the hurricanes and all this other stuff. But one thing I wanted to update people on was, oh, damn, MGTOW. Before I was gonna change the subject, but now I'm not. That is fucked up. Your dog dying next to you and you see it happen. That's shitty.
Yeah.
You know what happened to my dad once, Tilo? Fucking, he had a dog, right? And they lived over south, right? And, you know, he went somewhere one day and, like, his dog was missing. And so he was freaking out. And then, this is, like, the ultimate fucked up story, you guys. And then my dad came home or whatever, couldn't find his dog. And his dog was, like, missing for, like, a couple days. And then he went out to the garbage can and he found his fucking dog in the garbage can, skinned.
Skin.
Skinned, bruh. And the fucking neighbors had like thrown their trash in with it, so he knows that the neighbors killed his dog and ate it.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to like pull stereotypes, but these were Asian neighbors.
Well, I mean, it is a legitimate market. I mean, they just had like a collapse and they rescued a shitload of dogs from the actual dog eating meat market from over in China. So it is an actual thing.
It is a thing, and they fucking ate my dad's dog and threw it in his garbage can. Like, how fucked up is that? Like, how fucked up is that? My dad was so fucked up, but he wouldn't get another dog because of it.
Wow. Yeah, that's
it fucked him up, y'all. Like, it was bad. So I get it. Like, people's pets are their world. And they didn't have any rules back then like they do now where you could, like, get people to go to jail and shit. You know, that just wasn't the thing.
Yeah. Animals didn't have any rights at all.
No, now it's like now that would be a federal crime under that law that Trump made.
Absolutely. Their asses would be in jail.
Their ass would be in federal jail at that, not even just regular jail. Federal.
Not the regular. We got
right?
bad.
And federal jail's bad. I mean, if you're like white collar crime, then no. But blue collar crime, federal jail?
Woo. Yeah. And Gen Pop? Yikes.
Yeah, that's like Supermax almost. It's a bad, bad thing.
Right. That's where you got those real not so nice guys.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like, oh no. So hopefully, you know, that's why we, you know, I feel bad for people and their pets. That's why hopefully, you know, things will get better. But I've seen like even just pet services getting better. There's a local place where I didn't even know that you could go and get private cremation.
Yes.
And have euthanasia done in a private room. And like, I didn't know they had all that. They got like same day cremation and stuff like that. I didn't even know that existed. We might have went that route with my dog a couple years ago, had we known.
Yeah, I did it with my last 2 cats.
Yeah, you know, because it's
Actually,
really impersonal the way that they do it.
Well, yeah, and let me tell you, you don't get much more personal than having your cats pass in your arms. So
Yeah, I mean, well, my dog pretty much did. They basically like had to kill her with like tranquilizers because they couldn't get IV in, and then they were gonna have to stab her with the euthanasia.
Yeah,
it was really bad. So I made them, like I told the doctor, I was like, look, what is the harm in giving extra medication knowing that it'll probably kill her anyway? I said, so at least make her comfortable before you stick a needle in her heart with euthanasia. You know, what's the fuck's the difference? And she was like, you gotta go. I was like, I'm not gonna tell anybody. I'm not gonna report you to the medical board. Like, I just want my dog to be comfortable. And it's like, you know, they don't think about that. So I was surprised that even those services have changed and gotten different and more personable and private. Because you do, if you have to go to the vet, you have to bring them in front of everybody. You know, you got to parade through the office while everybody's living pets are there. Your pet is dead. You know, so that's the hard part about those situations. That's why I think private is probably not much more than what they cost anyway. So I think it's not a bad idea. Oh, we lost Tilo. So now that everybody's kind of disappeared, I'm going to kind of pop myself. Should I? There we go. do it like that till these guys come back.
Hey, we're coming back in just a minute.
Oh, what's we? Oh, so you were on the phone. Oh, okay. Hello.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back in just a minute.
No problem. Okay, then we're gonna go into that article about Ada that I was gonna read because I think it's important to talk about the situation in Honduras. I think it was like Global Disaster Watch, yeah. So Global Disaster Watch has an article that I will read here while we're waiting for everybody to come back. Ada made landfall in Nicaragua on Tuesday. This is coming out of the BBC. Guatemala's army has reached a remote village where dozens of houses were buried by mudslides triggered by Storm Ada's torrential rains. President Alejandro Giammattei says around 100 people were found dead in Queja, the central region of Alta Verapaz. Bad weather has hampered rescue efforts while roads are still blocked and large areas remain flooded. Earlier, the authorities had confirmed at least 50 deaths across the country. Ada made landfall in neighboring Nicaragua on Tuesday as a Category 4 hurricane with winds up to 140 miles an hour and torrential rains. It then weakened into a tropical depression as it moved into neighboring Honduras and later Guatemala. President Giammattei said rescue efforts were limited by the country having only one helicopter adequate for these operations. We have a lot of people trapped who have not been able to reach, he said. A state of emergency has been declared in many areas. The president described the situation in Queja as critical. No bodies have yet been recovered from the area. In neighboring Honduras, at least 10 deaths have been confirmed, with hundreds of people reportedly waiting to be rescued from flooded areas. Wendy Manigua Figueroa, who lives in La Lima, San Pedro Sula suburb, told the Associated Press, "We can't get off our houses' roofs because the water is up to our necks in the street." On Twitter, Foreign Affairs Minister Lisandro Rosales said, "The destruction that Ada leaves us is enormous and public finances are critical at the moment because of COVID-19. He added, "We make a call to the international community to accelerate the process of recovery and reconstruction." On Friday, the storm was off Belize's coast, heading out to the Caribbean, charting a course to Cuba and Florida this weekend, according to the National Hurricane Center. So we'll check that out in a second too, but I wanted to get everybody ready to realize what happened while we were, busy with the election, that there was a hurricane that came through and literally whooped Guatemala and Honduras' ass, and then has come back out now to sea and will be heading towards Florida, and it's going to hit I guess they call that the western coast of Florida, like the Gulf side of Florida, and it's going to hit the Keys for sure by Monday. So Monday we'll have a storm in the Florida Keys, Monday night. Tuesday it'll be kind of out in the Gulf, but kind of churning off that side shore there in Florida. And probably going back towards Louisiana. Fucking landfall. Holy shit. Look at this shit. Jesus Christ. Poor Louisiana, y'all. Can they get a break this year? I don't think they're going to get a break this year.
My roommate's from Louisiana.
That's terrible. I feel bad for his people because, look at this shit. So it's coming back. And it's out here and came in here and then went back out, right? So it was in Honduras and Guatemala, came in, went back out, now is coming up this way over Cuba and around and going to hit this side of Florida. And so this whole coast that got hit with Marco, or tropical storm or depression Marco, whatever which one it was, but it was Marco back then, hit this area real good. And so we'll be watching now for the next few days to see when we're going to watch this go, because it looks like a very well-developed storm. Here's the cone of uncertainty. Here's Monday when it's hitting the Keys. Monday night, it's hitting these outward little islands out here, and then we have it as a tropical storm still, so it's not going to strengthen so far into a hurricane, what they're saying, but we're going to have it sitting back in the Gulf, and with the probable wind and the wind speed probabilities, and like in the message how it shows it's curving all the way back, it'll be here by Tuesday at 8 p.m. So anywhere along this Gulf Coast will need to be ready for a potential, at least tropical storm force wind gusts. So that'll be interesting. We got Tim down there in Florida, so we'll be watching out for him. He's on the other side, though, the Atlantic side. So I don't think it'll be as big of an issue for him.
And I just realized I think I said like 3 things and nobody heard me because my mic wasn't up.
Oh, shit. Well, welcome back. Glad your mic's working now.
Okay, good night.
This motherfucker.
Right?
That's all I wanted to say was good night.
Oh, good night. Oh.
Nope. Tim wasn't here to shoot me, and I'm very disappointed.
What?
I said Tim was not here to shoot
To
me.
shoot you? Yeah, I know.
Well, that's why we did it for him earlier, Mike.
Well, I know, but you guys missed, and it sucked.
No, I hit.
Oh, you
Wayne
hit.
missed.
That's right. That's right. You
like
hit.
duck hunt.
Wayne missed. That's right.
Yeah.
Remember duck hunt? That
We'll
was
just call you Mr. Duck Mike.
Duck.
Yeah.
duck.
Is that going to be my new name? Duck Hunt Freak
Duck
Child.
Mike. Right?
Freak Child duck hunt.
No.
It'll be
Yeah,
a new
Freak Child
game.
Duck Hunt.
We'll put that up on FRN Games.
There you go.
Right.
It's just all little freak childs that you shoot out of the sky.
I actually used to have a huge online arcade of different fucking old school games.
We do too on freedomrevolutionnetwork.com/games.
But I had a way that I was able to reprogram them so that I could put like what the hell was it called? Whack a Freak. And
Oh,
like
Whack
I
a
had
Freak, see?
yeah, and I had whack-a-mole, but it was my head that would pop up. It was very cool.
Exactly. See, look, I wasn't too far off of a good idea.
So,
All right.
how do I do screen share real quick? How do I do screen share?
Hi, I'm Canadian. The election probably won't end today. It maybe. I mean, if they want to try to say that they're done and they win, then they will. But I don't think the election will be resolved anytime soon.
Probably not.
Oh, we can hear your sound, your game that you're playing. We can hear it.
I'm not playing anything.
I know he's
Somebody
playing
is.
He's just playing the sound. He's
You're
playing the sound off of Duck Hunt
Oh,
from his
you're
sound.
ridiculous.
Yep.
All right, so we do.
How do you do
can
screen share?
actually go and play Nintendo games on the website. So you can go to Freedom Revolution Network Games, and you can play Nintendo games and all types of games. And you can pick from all these different games. So, just saying.
There's a lot on that website. We're getting there.
It's a thing.
Slowly but surely, we're getting there.
It's a thing.
They were watching us on Tuesday, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure. We were very heavily watched, but I think that it's important that we did what we did because we got to show all the numbers. And
True.
we got to tell people what was going to happen. Because like I had said earlier, when I left everybody on Tuesday night, I said, we're going to have to see how they spin the narrative by the morning to see which way this is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can come up with a good enough PR game, that'll be it. And that's where we are. You know, it's a PR war, it's a PR battle. One's winning, one's losing, and
it depends on what network you're listening to.
Damn.
What?
He was like, last thing, the whole host of Toe Talk, my G, you got to get a better barber, my fam. You're starting to get the LeBron James hairline.
Hey, man, I got to start making the money, bud.
No.
Oh, he's got you beat.
I think he's just about got everybody beat. That's like a 12 head right there, bud.
Right.
Oh, it's so
This
funny.
is my COVID hair.
That's your
What
COVID
I
hair?
call it. Yeah, it's like a playoff beard.
Yeah, what's the situation with like barbers out there and hairstyling and all that? Can you go or
Appointment only.
appointment? only?
Yeah,
that's how it
it's
is.
appointment only. I can't get a beard trim. Like I'm the guy that likes a straight razor shave and whatnot,
Dude,
and I can't get one. Okay, but you have no hair. You like yours shaved off. I like my beard. Okay. I mean, you're already losing hair, bud, so it's all good. But I can go and get a haircut, but my wife is cutting my hair this weekend because it's a whole lot easier.
Oh, be careful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't trust anybody to cut my hair. I got a haircut a few weeks ago, so I'm good for a while. I probably won't go till after New Year's and get
Right.
anything done.
Well, and honestly, I was gonna leave this growing until COVID was over because this is like my playoff beard. I'm a hockey player, so as a hockey
hair,
player,
yep.
you grow a beard. So I was like, well, this started at COVID, and I haven't cut it since.
The George Costanza.
Yeah, that was funny.
But with this new job, I'm like, man, I haven't had my hair this long and so long. And I'm like, oh God. But then I do this and it's like, whoa, look at that fucking
Saskatchewan is locking back down.
Well,
Imagine
you want to know the
that
sad
all
thing
over.
is talking about hair real quick. This here has been growing since, and I can tell you the exact date, April 27th, 2016. It's the day it was the day of my best friend's funeral.
Wait, which
and
one?
He passed from
the beard or the pony?
Oh, the back?
The pony.
Okay.
Yeah. This here, if I would have let this grow all that time, I'd fucking it would be down to here. Which towing, that's not advantageous of towing. So like I don't want my shit caught up in the wind, you know. Yeah, I'm kidding.
You're catching on how to do this. Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing is that, all this that I have right here, I've been growing this for 3 months.
Only 3 months?
This here. Yeah.
3 months. There you go.
I didn't know you could grow that much ugly in 3 months. I mean, hey, how you doing? So this here's been about 2.5, 3 months. But my hair, it literally, I trimmed the dead ends off and whatnot. From cancer, and I said, I'm not cutting my hair for a while until I can get some length out of it, and then the next time I cut it, I'll be donating it.
Oh, right. Just don't do lots
but this is
of
literally.
love, because they sell your
No, I won't.
the cancer people.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
But no, I'm gonna do that. But yeah, the last time I actually cut my
thanks
hair,
for
I
joining
got.
us for a little bit. We appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's King Bob? Who's that?
Who?
I don't know.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Rip King Vaughn.
American rapper.
That font.
Anyway.
Shot and killed outside Atlanta nightclub during an early Friday exchange of gunfire outside a hookah lounge.
But
to check it out.
But
thanks
yeah,
for joining us. We're here a lot. So
absolutely. Once my page is built, poke. Once my page is built, check it out. Oh, I know.
Yeah, you got to poke Mel. Mel, I'm not Mel.
Well, I tried. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'll probably poke the bear
again
tomorrow.
Mel said that she was just really busy tonight because she's helping out with that one of her new gigs.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
get
she
it.
said she'd
Shit
get
out
back
of
to me
that.
though. She said this weekend for sure though.
Oh yeah, that's not a problem.
That's not what I
Um,
heard. I heard that she really does not like people from the southern part of Colorado. So,
damn. I knew I was fucked somewhere.
yeah, wow.
But yeah, this has been my hair growing for 6 years or 4 years now. 4 fucking
Wow.
years. Yeah. My fucking facial hair grows like fucking Sasquatch. And then my hair fucking grows like a slug on salt.
So lucky you. So, oh, actually, believe it or not, I think we can use wall cam for this. Let me just double check here. There it goes. Okay, there we go. So I can do that. Okay, so check this out.
Your ring light is really breaking life up.
There is no ring light. That's what's funny.
Oh, it looks like a fucking ring light.
No, I'm just that white.
I'm just that white, he says.
Okay, so
I
I
mean, do you see my face?
yeah, but I haven't shaved in 2 days, dude. That's
2
how
days.
slow that shit grows, man.
Yeah, that's terrible. You need like some biotin or something.
That's terrible.
Biotin.
What do you mean that's terrible?
Don't you want it to grow, or you just want it to stay like that?
I would get all of this part lasered off. I'd keep this.
Okay, so you want laser?
Yeah,
So
laser all this.
So no.
Laser,
Hold up.
and as I'm getting older, I want to laser all this and this that keeps growing.
We'll get some eye cream. And then
No, the
lift
real,
that
the
shit
real.
up.
This, I mean, I'm getting hair fucking everywhere. Oh yeah, and back in here,
Well,
and
it's like that old cartoon movie, Osmosis Jones. The hair jobs are leaving the head, but there's more coming on the back.
yeah, pretty much. I
But
mean, I
Charlotte,
don't
the reason he wants this to grow out is
get
because
stuck.
when he gets that special little lady friend, she can just go, yeah.
I do have that special lady friend.
Oh,
But,
Oh, now he's stripping.
yeah, look at how pathetic this
Oh.
is.
Do you never go outside
Oh,
with
dude.
the shirt off, or?
I'm not counting the white. I'm counting the chest hair. This is how much chest
Oh, all I saw was blinded by the white.
I'm sure you did. Which side is that? Oh, that's this side. But yeah.
Do you have a nipple hair?
Oh, a little nip action.
Right. Is that
Little
what
nip
you're looking
action.
at? Right.
There you go. Yeah, me and my I call this my love stripe right here.
Love stripe.
Yeah. Because I figure if you like hairy men, then that's about all you. Well, fuck off! I can hear that.
Now,
Yes,
there's a reason I don't show my legs.
They do have a blinded by
There's
the
a
white
reason.
version.
That's you know what? Honestly, that's only fair because I do it to everybody else.
Right? It's true.
That's why I want to get a
Maybe it's
soundboard so I
Instagram
don't have to use my
honest, right?
phone. That's why I want to get a soundboard and shit, be able to isolate that shit.
You mean kind of like that?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too bad
Smart
you're
ass.
not getting that one.
Oh, we're not getting.
I-
You could help out.
Well, I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could.
Sure.
Sure is.
Supposed to be a family.
Well, it is.
Helping.
It is a broadcast family, and here's the thing: Toe Gator's getting a special gift. So
How about here? We'll lead with this one there, Scarlet.
Big Toe said, "Love stripe, baby, love stripe."
Wait,
Wow.
what?
I know that's the voice he did in it too.
Low strap, baby, low strap.
Love stripe,
But
baby,
now,
love stripe.
Button that up.
This-
I can't unbutton it
today,
again. Whoa, where'd he go?
Not today, Scarlet, but a week. Where'd who go?
Oh, there you are.
I'm so confused.
Oh,
Did I disappear?
No, you're here.
Oh,
He's-
damn. Anyway, but anyway, but so just keep an eye out on the broadcast. Just keep an eye out on the broadcast next Saturday. How's that
Okay.
sound?
all right.
So
yeah. All I could hear was butter. You need some butter?
That is not
Butter.
butter. That is fake hydrogenated oils.
oh god,
I don't
God,
care.
here we go.
It's good.
Still tastes good.
Fake. Death.
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. I mean, everything's going to kill you.
I live in the
okay?
Midwest, and that was cringy. We have lots of butter around here.
Have you? Okay. You know, we were me and Mike were talking about this in the last show. Coloradans, we have a different way of things. Like we have like no filter, and we just don't give a shit. Like everybody looks at us, oh, that's nasty, that's cringy. What? I like it. I mean, I like my PBR beer. You know, and everybody looks at me, oh, you like PBR? You ever been on the rodeo circuit? You're fucking broke and you want to drink.
Hipster tears. They just bottled hipster tears.
I mean, I guess I was drinking PBR before they started bottling it that way.
Hipster tears.
Wait a minute. I didn't even know they bottled PBR. They bottled
Dude,
PBR?
I don't know. Does it come in
They
a bottle?
actually do.
I thought it only
They
came in
actually
like
do.
a can.
I thought they only came in
well,
a can.
No. Now, hold up, Mike. Here's another one that'll throw you for a loop. Did you know they put Mickey's in a can?
What?
Mickey's, I've only seen Mickey's in the tall can.
No. Like, for years, all they had was the grenades.
No.
Tall can.
The tall boys that they sell for the alcoholics, yes, they do have Mickey's in the can, but that's the
But it
only
tastes
other way I've
nasty.
ever seen it.
I've seen it in a 40.
No, dude,
I seen
a 6-pack of
Okay,
cans,
yeah.
bro. Like a 6-pack of 12-ounce can.
Wow.
Dude, I was drinking
And,
that stuff
like-
out of high school or college.
I was drinking that shit out of high school. Fucking, I mean, and I'm the weird fucker. I enjoy a Mickey's every so often. Maybe it's because there's a little puzzle on the cap, or yeah, I don't know.
I can't drink
But-
cheap.
No,
cheap
it's
ass
because
beer.
of you know what? It's because of Ugly Kid Joe, because he put a song lyric into a thing. Is the only reason I actually was like, let me try this. And I was like, okay, this is bad. But then I realized it's shitty Heineken is all it is.
It is kind of like shitty Heineken.
I don't
yeah.
like Heineken. I don't like Heineken, but I love.
I don't
Mickey's.
like Heineken either. That's gross.
Like, I don't like
What?
Heineken, but I love Mickey's. Well, you also like fucking. You also drink fucking.
I like
Fuck.
Mick Ultra though.
Oh God.
I've already said that. Mick Ultra is the only organic beer. They're the only ones trying to not kill you with glyphosate.
It's the beer you drink when you're on a diet.
No. It's
Well,
just
okay.
No, it's
You
low
see this?
calorie, it's low
I
alcohol,
don't need
it's
no
low
fucking
sugar,
diet,
it's
okay?
low. Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
I don't need no fucking diet.
Yeah, he does kind of need all the apocalypse calories he can use.
Oh shit! I got dad
Yeah, pretty
bod.
much.
Right.
Dad bod!
But
I mean,
actually,
dude, I don't need no fucking diet. I'm a fucking rail, okay? And a fuzzy
Black
one at that.
and white.
You're pretty much.
Yeah, that's
really,
real. I mean, you got some farmer tag going on, but like,
who me?
no, Toegator.
Oh,
At least
At
you got
least
the
I'm not as
farmer
white as
tag
you.
thing going on.
yeah. I actually haven't been out all summer. I took 6 months off of fucking life. So
4-pack of, you mean Mickey's and you were set? Yeah, that's like that Red Dog shit. That reminds me of like,
ooh, I drank that straight out of fucking being 21.
I drank that in high
No.
school.
You want to know the first beer I ever got drunk off of? Like, and I mean, when I say drunk, I'm talking fucked up, couldn't stand up straight drunk.
Okay.
Keystone Light.
Keystone Light.
Oh, really, dude? That's like the alcoholics beer, dude.
Dude, it was me, my cousin, and his friend Brian.
Please tell me you were like
Fucking, it was me.
16.
Dude, I was 18.
Okay, good enough. Good enough. Good enough. I'll give
Yeah.
points for.
I was 18.
When
Fucking,
you
my
were
cousin
young,
knew the liquor
what
store.
the fuck ever. Like, people got me to drink wild turkey when I was like 18.
Oh, God.
I mean, just drink whatever.
Oh.
Yeah. Does
Nope.
that make you want to puke right now? Yeah, I know.
I'll drink Black Velvet before I drink Wild Turkey.
Wild turkey's awful. I'd rather drink Windsor.
Oh,
Windsor.
man, I can, and here's the thing: I
That's a
can't do
Midwest thing.
alcohol most of the time.
But no, I got fucked up on Keystone Light. My cousin wasn't 21 either. And my cousin knew that it was in Wellington, Colorado, dude, right by where they were supposed to put Wellington Downs, Mike. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but don't
Where they-
admit to a crime. Don't admit to a crime.
Oh,
Right.
shit. My grace period's over. It's been 7 years. But we were sitting out off the back dirt road and fucking I had just got paid. My cousin's like, let's drink. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's drink. Well, next thing I know, he's like, well, I know the person at the liquor store. I was like, all right. And we get there and he looks at me and I'm looking at him going, what? He's like, well, I need money for the beer. Motherfucker, it's my birthday.
Right?
Well, I'm broke. Fuck. Well, here's
Well,
money. So we get a 30 pack and it was split between me, my cousin, and his buddy Brian. Well, we drink that 30 pack and I'm like, dude, I need more liquor. And he's like, well, fuck, you got any more money? I was like, yep, I got more money. So we go back. By the end of the night, we went through 3 30 packs and I drunk dialed this bitch that I told my cousin not to let me drunk dial. This one particular bitch, I don't care who else I drunk dialed. Don't let me drunk dial this bitch. What does he do? He fucking lets me drunk dial this exact bitch. Okay? And like, why, dude? Like, you let me drunk dial the one person I didn't want to drunk dial.
No, that
Fuck.
is because you know what? Alcohol makes you tell the truth.
yeah.
Well,
And
Deep down,
yeah.
you really did want to. You just didn't
there are
want
two
to
people.
Your sober self.
There are two people.
I mean, just
There are
a
two people
story
that
made
don't
me
lie.
fall
A
over.
drunk man don't lie, and neither does a young child. Because neither of them give a fuck. But
Yeah.
and
Well,
so
depending on how young of a child we're talking about, that
like
eventually they
2,
learn
3.
how to lie.
I'm talking like 2, 3 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like max 4 years old. Because at 4 years old, the little bastards become very corrupt, and it's just fucker. But, oh my god, dude! And then yeah, I have drank Keystone since that night. Fuck that! I won't touch a Keystone Light. Nope.
Keystone is
I
terrible.
didn't puke though. Keystone is like fucking.
Natty Ice. It's like that level.
Well, it's the same thing.
Oh gosh.
It's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the leftovers. It's the leftovers
pretty
from
Bottom of the barrel.
Budweiser and Coors. That's basically what they are.
Now I don't like Coors.
I have to get drunk on Lambrusco, Pam. That was my shit, Lambrusco. Fuck yeah.
Holy shit, I
You know, the
haven't
other
heard
day in the
Lambrusco.
liquor store, I actually thought about getting a bottle of Lambrusco because I was like, "Aw, memories. Lambrusco's good. I don't care." What
No,
anyone
here's
says.
one that's gonna bring back
It's
memories
good.
for you. Here, especially, yeah. Oh god, now I can't remember the name of it. It's a wine, a really cheap fucking wine.
Lambrusco's cheap ass
Not
wine.
gonna
That's what
bring
we're
back
talking about.
memories for me. I'm not a wine drinker, so not for me.
No, you'll know it when I say it though. You'll.
Arbor
Fuck it.
Mist.
No, fuck no.
Andre.
Oh,
There's lots of cheap wines. Barefoot.
no,
Yellowtail.
bottle of it up on my cabinet. No. There's strawberry flavor. My wife.
Oh yeah, Pam. I've never got to try that Ylang Lang beer. Renette says it's decent. They came out with the chocolate Hershey's Ylang Lang.
The dudes, the
It's
guys,
like a chocolate porter, like stout kind of.
the two guys.
Sam Adams.
No,
We're talking about beer.
no, he said wine, so I'm
Wine. The two
freaking,
guys. Robert Mondavi.
no, that's one guy.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't like a name of a person. I'll have to ask my wife, and next time I'm on here, I'll fucking tell you.
They used to have the commercials.
Boone's Farm.
Yeah.
Boone's Farm.
Boone's
Boone's
Farm. Boone's Farm. Yes. One of the first times I got drunk with my mom drinking Boone's Farm.
Yeah, I've only drank. I've had wine at parties and
Strawberry
shit.
Hill. Dude, my
Yeah,
grandpa had like a bottle from my mom from in the fridge from like 1978, and like then we found it like in the cupboard, and we were like, "Holy shit!" And my mom was like, "Yeah, I got this back in the day. Like it was so old. It had like an old label on it. It was ridiculous." But yeah,
You're right.
Boone's Farm.
Well,
The choice for broke people.
one of I got drunk. I got wine drunk off of Boone's. I'll never do that again.
Boone's Farm will fuck you up.
Quickly.
Yeah, Boone's Farm ain't no joke. Like you're like, oh, whatever. It's
Yeah,
like
dude.
5 or 8%, blah blah. It's fine. It's fine. No, you get through a bottle
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, my whole life is fucked.
Yeah, you say it's fine until you fucking croak over.
That's just it. That's what I'm saying. Until you get like shitty white girl wasted, and then your life's over.
Well, that's because of all the citrus and all that juice that's in wine will fuck you up even further than you think. You know,
I don't
it's
give
like,
a fuck what it's
I've
for.
seen it
It's
happen
one of the
with a cat.
shittiest fucking hangover. One of the
It
shittiest
doesn't
fucking
matter.
hangovers I've ever had.
Dude, that shit'll fuck you up faster. I mean, I don't care what wine it is, and I've seen this as a cab driver. Some chick had
Yes,
3
dude, I
glasses
drove
of
cab
wine.
in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Man, all of it. Whoa, yeah, wine hits you all of a sudden. Like I can be out and I can have many glasses of wine, but at a certain point, all of a sudden, it's like, and it hits your ass. You're like, shit, I'm drunk.
Yeah, like when you have your glass of wine, you step outside, smoke a cigarette, you hit that fresh air, you take a drink, bam.
Oh, dude. And I had a chick puke in my cab.
What?
See,
Yeah,
I'm good about that. You
Oh
just have
my
to
God, my life was
if I
over.
say pull over, I mean that shit. Like, don't hesitate, because I can make it, but
Well,
you gotta pull over.
that kind of reminded me. I got my bosses to start a new program, and we're gonna pilot it here in Grand Junction, and I did this in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Close. Tipsy Toe. We charge $55, and that gets you home and your car home.
See, there used to be a program like that, but it just
There's
kind
one in
of
Wisconsin.
Well, see,
It's
Grand Junction doesn't have one. Cheyenne
They
did.
call it a sober ride home or whatnot, and they'll bring you anywhere from the bars. They'll bring you 20 miles home for free. Otherwise, it's like $15 up to 40 miles, and they'll bring you back home from the bar, and they do it like free of charge, and all the cab companies do it in Wisconsin. I think it's a brilliant idea because you can
Well,
tip
see,
them, but they don't charge you for the ride. So, like for that,
right.
then you don't
And
have to
see,
bring your car out or anything.
well, see, right. But with the towing, we got to charge something. But a
Oh
typical
yeah,
tow is $75,
your vehicle. Yeah,
and
no.
so we're charging $55, and that gets you anywhere up to 10 miles as long as it's a residential address or a motel. And yeah, I got them. That went active, and it's active from 8 at night to 3:30 in the morning.
That's a good deal though, because if parents or people want to go out who actually want to go drink for once, and they can for $55, yeah, it's a little spendy, but if you budget it into your night, it could work.
Yeah, but think about that. I mean, if you're spending $22 to $25 for an Uber ride home, and then you got to go pick up your car later, I mean,
It's worth it because you're going to spend
Well,
25
it's the
at
same
least
thing.
this way your car is
Uber ride
already there.
anyway.
You
Yeah,
know?
Right,
and
exactly.
car home.
And you didn't get a DUI.
Right.
Didn't get a DUI, didn't get your car towed into an impound lot for being illegally parked or something like that. I mean, that's not a bad idea.
It actually is a
Yeah,
really
and-
good idea. Like I was thinking about like trying to bring up to my local representatives about a sober ride home because there's not that many cab companies, but most people around here live maybe about 20-25 miles away from big town where we would all go to the bar. And so I think it'd just be a smart idea. It keeps more people off the roads, gives people an option, but then also has people patronize these businesses because a lot of people won't go if they don't have a way to go home.
Right.
So I think it kills two birds with one stone when it comes down to that. With the towing idea is great because then too, you get your car home. So I think any way that you can stop yourself from getting in that vehicle drunk is really the point. Is you shouldn't be drinking and driving.
Exactly. And that's my thing. I had my one drunk driving incident where I blacked out for 5 fucking miles.
Ooh.
And after that, I was against drunk driving before that, but my best friend had just died, my dog died, and like I'm not bullshitting when I say this. Like all of this happened within a month's time of it. So my best friend died, my dog died, fucking life was going to shit. I was driving his truck, and I didn't want to leave it at the bar, because for whatever fucking stupid reason. I was like, no, I'm taking it home, and I drove home, and like I said, there's 3 truck stops, and there's 5 miles in between each one, and there's a 5-mile stretch that I just, to this day, and it's been 4 years to this day, I can't fucking remember that 5-mile stretch of road. How I made it home, I don't know if I fell asleep. I don't know if I blacked out. I remember getting to the Sapp Brothers stop. Then I don't remember 5 miles. I remember seeing TA truck stop. And then I remember turning down the road to go home, which was another 5 miles down the dirt road. And yeah, that's really what stopped me from drinking for quite some time.
That does happen that way. I know people in my own life that's happened to where they cannot remember how they got home or what they did. And that was one of the times that they were like, nope, I'm done.
And that's where I was at.
Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I've luckily never had that, but I have had a DUI, and it was all because I decided to leave after playing poker from a casino and made a turn.
That was a bad idea.
No headlights, no turn signal, failed to yield the right of way. What else was there?
You were glad to punish, weren't you?
Oh, and I had expired insurance, expired
I'll be right back. I have got to go use the restroom. Holy shit!
Well,
This fucking 4 cans of Mountain Dew later. I gotta go. Be right back.
Well, thanks for sharing. Don't take your headset with you. But I mean, I made every wrong thing I could have, and I'm still paying for it to this day. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, it's
for
expensive. It's not cheap and it's not fun and you have a lot of consequences and it's just not a good thing. But I think if more places would create these type of programs, we wouldn't have as big of issues either.
yeah.
But drinking is such socially acceptable behavior. So I think for a lot of people it's hard for them to oh, I've got this. They have this attitude of I'm above the situation, like, no, I know I'm okay. I'm fine. One things that we had invested in years ago was a pocket breathalyzer.
Oh
And
yeah. And
that's
if you
something
actually
we utilized a lot just to see where you were at. One night we sat at home and we're like, let's just see how long it takes, or how much can we drink while we're out to see if, we're going to be over. And, you'd be surprised. It was like maybe be two, or you could have like 3 beers, but as soon as you like maybe started sipping on the 4th, all of a sudden you'd be like, really over within that next hour, even if you didn't drink much of that 4th one. So it's
Right.
like people don't realize the delayed effects of alcohol as well, and how long it takes your body to register a blood alcohol level is not necessarily how you feel.
well, and that's the misconception for a lot of people is that they think, oh, well, I'll be okay because I just had a big old glass of water. They'll never catch me. Well, how
Right.
many beers did you have? 6. Well, guess what? You got 8 hours until you're going to be at a 0. That would, where it would put you at a legal level. I mean, that depends, but
Right.
it would take you almost 8 hours to get down to a 0 BAC level. And that's something I learned during my detox time, is that there is a certain amount of time that you have to deal with your body, even though you may be fairly clear in the mind, you still have it in your body. And
Yeah.
if you make a
They
small
say if you
infraction,
can man.
what?
Oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, we
Oh, I
didn't
mean,
hear
if you
you. It
make a
cut
small
out.
infraction, I mean, cops pull you over, they're going to find you. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah,
It's true.
So,
but they say you can drink a beer an hour if you
not
can
true.
just maintain 1 beer per hour, and then after you stop drinking, you have to wait. If you've evenly spaced it each hour, and you wait for 2 hours, you will be barely. And when I say barely, like they could contest it in court, barely under the legal limit.
Right.
Well, I've heard that too, and I've seen the supposedly, let's say one beer puts you at 3 BAC, right? Because I've been through all this crap, unfortunately. Um, one beer puts you at 3 BAC. After you drink it, well, technically it would take 3 hours. Some people process it faster, some people process it slower. So if you've got 1 BA or 3 BAC, most people will process that at 1.5 BAC an hour. So you got 2 hours per beer. That's a
Now,
beer, folks. For those of you that
now the
drink
sad thing
wine,
is
hard liquor, and shit like that, whoa, you guys got a way longer time limit on that then.
Well, a 12-ounce beer and
now
a
the sad thing is, oh,
shot or a 5-ounce glass of wine has all the same amount of alcohol.
Supposedly.
yeah, supposedly. Now the
that's what
sad
they
thing
said
is,
in this stupid alcohol class I had to take. So that's what they said.
Yeah.
That it's
the
equivalent.
sad thing is with this right there, mine is half
What?
because of
What? You cut out when you said that. So what
my
you cut half?
my BAC because of that right there.
Oh yeah, it's only
Those
like
3 words.
0.4. It's not 0.8. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're at
And
point
that's also
four.
if you're carrying a weapon too. It goes down to 0.4 as well.
Yep. Sure
And
does.
so with that, I mean, you could have like few sips, maybe one beer would bring you over 0.4, depending on, if you've eaten that day, how much you have on your stomach, how much you metabolize.
Especially if I'm drinking fucking Keelan's Irish Red. That shit's fucking stout.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, some beers have a lot of these craft beers have higher alcohol percentages, and people don't realize that. That's a big issue lately because everybody's drinking these craft beers, and they just
I'm not
don't
a big
realize
craft
that.
beer fan.
well, some of those will run up to like 9%.
Yep, exactly. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. So you pick a couple of those and you're zoot scooted, you know what I mean, before you realize it.
Yeah. And I'm not a big craft beer fan, let's be real.
Oh, Migto, you haven't drank anything in 2 months. Are you going dry? It's the time to go dry before the apocalypse. Get yourself right.
Fuck no, I'm gonna fucking drink my way through the apocalypse.
I don't drink. Oh, I saw a meme today that was like, if your election lasts more than 3 days, you need to take a shot of vodka or whiskey. Like, I thought that was funny.
I've thought about it. Fuck.
Well,
and I don't drink very often, but I do drink occasionally, and it's a nice thing, it's occasional. Honestly, since I probably moved to the country, and it feels more like cabin life, I probably drink a lot more than I usually do.
Yeah, you got to be careful there.
Well, see, it's like I was talking to Mike after we ended that last show. It's kind of why it took us so long to get over here for this show. It's like I was talking to Mike, after my best friend died in my arms from cancer, I went on a month-long bender, because in that same time frame, my fucking dog died, my best friend died. I mean, life just fucking went tumbling down. And when I blacked out like that, like I had to, because I know I'm an alcoholic. Like I'm a fucking, now I'm just an alcoholic that knows my limits.
Right.
Because, and I would safely say I'm a recovered alcoholic, and people will tell me.
I believe that exists because I believe if you can understand where your personal responsibility came into play and accept that and realize that, the alcohol didn't make you who you were. A lot of Wayne and I have talked about this in the past on the show that a lot of alcoholics create recovery as their identity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a good thing. You know what I mean?
It's not. That's a crutch.
You did it,
That's a crutch. My thing is the people that piss me off is people that tell me, oh well, you still drink occasionally, so you're not recovered. No, motherfucker. In my mind, I'm a
alcohol appropriately. I'm no longer an alcoholic.
Right, exactly. I know my limitations. I know my where I can go and how much I can drink before it gets out of hand. And people are like, well, that you're still drinking, you're still an alcoholic. No, motherfucker, I'm not.
No, because like I said,
I'm not gonna give up a simple pleasure in life just because I went
because
through a bad phase.
The reason why you would have to give it up to begin with is because of the fact that you could not imbibe appropriately, right? So
Right,
that's the reason why
exactly.
alcoholics give up alcohol, is because they don't drink appropriately. They overdrink to excess. Well, once you're able to not to drink to excess, you're no longer said alcoholic. You can't, I don't know how people contrive that together. Like, oh, just because you drink now, if you were an alcoholic and you drink responsibly now, you are still said alcoholic. No, that's not how it works, because alcoholic would entail that I abuse the substance and I use it often, and that it controls my life and the way I react. But if that's no longer the case,
Right.
you don't have that label anymore. And I think
Anymore,
that
Pam, to
a
be
lot of
honest,
people could learn and maybe not relapse, because if it was more accepted that, like, once you are done and if you can, interact with alcohol again in a healthy way, I think a lot less people would relapse because of that, because they feel like they can't
exactly.
absolutely touch a drop for the rest of their lives. And I
Right.
don't think that's
You know,
necessarily appropriate.
and to answer Pam's question here, to be real, most of the time, if I do drink like Thanksgiving or something like that, I'll drink a beer, maybe 2 beers, but that's it. I don't drink in excess anymore. Maybe it's because I had all my fun before I turned 21. To be honest,
I think that was my problem
you know,
personally, because I did like imbibe so often before I was 21 and I was able to do all these things. I didn't feel like the necessity like other people to go out and get shitty drunk every weekend when I was 21, because by then I had had all my drunk nights and
right,
hangovers, all
yeah.
that.
Now, don't get me wrong. Get me a good night at the fucking casino, and I'm because they like to bring you drinks like they're fucking water.
Yeah.
Fuck
No,
yeah.
well, and just like my story, yeah. I mean, that was a huge downfall for me that night, because it was just like I was good, I was up, I was playing. Oh yeah, hey, we're having a good time. Oh yeah, everything's great. Okay, I think I'm gonna cash out and I'm gonna go home. Oh hey, you did yield right away.
Yep.
Along with these other
And that,
500 things, I mean,
you
so
know what that makes me think of? You know what that makes me think of when you say that? You know why I'm pulling you over, son? And then Jim Carrey just goes off with about 1,200
oh
different
yeah.
reasons why he's getting pulled over.
Yep.
Can you name the
That
movie? Can
that
you name the?
liar.
Yes, that was one of the first movies I ever seen in a drive-in theater in Montana.
I love the drive-in. We have a drive-in that's really close to my new
We
place.
actually have a drive-in that's about 35 miles from us, and there's still a drive-in up here, Mike. It's over in Quebec. No,
Uh
not Quebec. Right before Montrose, Delta.
the one off at 88th.
No. Up here by Junction.
Oh, okay. No, we
They
still
have
have
one
one.
down in the
We
valley
still have
by
one
Red
here off
too
at
that does it
88.
like at an old house.
But yeah, I haven't been to the drive-in here yet. I want to, just because I love drive-in movies. I
Oh,
think
I
they're
love
fucking
the drive-in. It's always great.
Yeah,
But
I haven't been to a
Up here they
drive-in
play like
since
3
I was
movies in a
a kid.
row, and then our local one that's closest to me now, they have camping there too, so you can camp as well.
okay, that could be a little interesting.
Ah, yes, it could be.
Yeah.
Yep, you could have tents, you could have RVs, you could have all types of
I'm
stuff.
pretty sure they're not watching the movie at that point.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I mean, is anybody watching the movie anyway?
I mean, I was.
Well, it depends on, I guess, what age you are as to what.
Right. See, I would when I watched Liar, fuck, I was pretty young. I was living in Montana, so yeah, I was pretty young. I was hidden on the floorboard when we drove in.
Kids are like free up here basically. They only cost $1 if you're under 12. So to bring them to the drive-in actually isn't that bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of fun. We enjoy it. They
Oh, I
usually
have
play
a
like a
blast.
kids movie in the beginning, and then by the end, it's an adult movie. At ours, where we go, usually Valley High, you don't get out of that shit till like 4 a.m. because they play 3 movies. So it's like you're
Damn.
usually there all night.
No,
Yeah.
I seen
Wow.
this meme on Facebook, and it was of we should all watch Jaws while floating in a boat,
That'd be
on
fun.
a
What,
lake.
floating in a giant pool in an inner tube?
No, 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 not unless it's a wave pool where we cause
Yeah, the
waves.
wave pool would be super fun.
Oh,
That's
they,
what I'm saying. And then, like,
here in Denver, well, Tollgater knows this one. Waterworld, they used to do that. Uh,
Yep, yep,
the
yep.
I want to say the Wave In Theater or something like that. It was
Yeah,
like
some shit like that.
yeah, like they
They,
would
they haven't
try,
done that in years.
yeah, but like everybody was in the swimming pool and they had the wave thing going, and you
Hmm
could watch a movie on their
They
big screen that they had. So yeah.
they actually did do a viewing of Jaws in that pool, uh,
Oh,
and they
that's
scheduled it.
right.
Yeah, and they scheduled it perfect, um, because they did it during Shark Week on Discovery Channel.
yes, I'm here for it.
That, that was fucking great. It was awesome. I loved it.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, I mean, I like movies. It's just been sad for, I'm surprised that we haven't seen, I've been noticing like the drive-ins especially have been showing like older movies.
Hmm
They haven't had any new releases that they can really use. So they've been getting, license on older movies to play to just keep like butts in the seats. And I found that pretty interesting. I
Yeah.
wonder if a lot of discount style theaters will pop up again because they will be able to buy the rights to some of these old movies to play. And that's how they kind of recoup some of the movie industry.
I don't think they're going to recoup the movie industry. I think it's all
Oh,
going
I mean, to some
streaming.
degree, yeah.
All
Nobody's
streaming.
it's pretty much dead now. But I mean, to try to keep what little
Well,
pulses alive.
the thing about that though is, don't get me wrong, I love watching movies and shows as much as the next guy, but maybe this is the reality check that the fucking movie industry needed. That
Well,
these
that's
guys
true.
making, these guys make more money than God, and that's fucking ridiculous. And they price
Yeah, I'm
gouged
sure
the
a lot of them are
shit.
hurting. I can't see any of these
Yeah,
big heads of corporations or the movie stars themselves really hurting. I mean, how many millions of dollars did they, produce?
Pilfer.
So I mean, I don't feel bad for them necessarily, but I'm surprised they haven't wanted to give us more bread with our circuses, so to speak. The entertainment, if
Right.
you notice too, like on TV, a lot of the old game shows are coming back. Like they have Match Game on again, and they have Supermarket Sweep on again, and they have Press Your Luck. No whammies, no whammies, big money.
But those are all remakes.
Yep.
Yet you've
That's what
got
I'm
the
saying.
other-
I'm
you've
surprised
got
they
the
didn't
other-
give us new bread for our circuses. You see what I mean? Like they just reinvented the wheel on those and brought them right back in.
Oh, well, yeah. No, that's totally true. And then what do people actually want to watch? The original, not the new one.
Yeah.
No, because when you're
Right.
watching it,
And see,
especially like Match Game, you have Richard, like Richard Dawson or the other guy who was on there in your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have this guy. I always remembered the guy, yeah, because it was like the other guy who kissed everybody, like Richard Dawson, who did Match Game, and then they always had the chick with the big glasses, and
yeah.
the Charles dude, and he had big
Yeah.
glasses too. And then there was a bunch of good ones that were on it. And so when I watch Match Game now, they have like, kind of random celebrities. And it's like, it's just interesting because you're right. People are reminiscing and watching this for the nostalgia of what it was.
Right, but it's still
Right,
not the same
exactly.
thing because Baldwin, Alec Baldwin, is not the same host that was right there as Gene Redburn
Gene Rayburn. Was it Gene Rayburn?
It's not the same host as he was, because he was just like,
He
I
was
don't
the best.
he was like, I
Yeah, his
don't
name
give a
was
fuck
Gene
what the
Rayburn.
hell
Yeah,
you guys
Match
do.
Game he did for 2 decades.
And then you've got the host of panels, or the panel of hosts, and none of them back in the day gave a shit about what they said.
No, and they were
Right.
edgy.
To be
They were
politically
super edgy then,
correct.
honestly.
Well, you
There's
know,
story
it's
about
like
the
all those
media
memes.
reprimand they're gonna get, you know.
Well, it's like all those memes, you know. Or I mean, I would have to have one of you pull it up, but that song by Bucky Cuddington. You know, we drank out of garden hoses, we rode our bikes without helmets.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
they let them drink on Match Game back then too. That's why Match
Right.
Game was so good, because they could drink on there.
Yeah.
They were getting lit. They're smoking cigarettes. They had an ashtray next to them. You know, they were in their element as far as Hollywood goes.
Yeah.
Well,
Totally.
right, you know. And
Oh,
you know now,
so I mean, and back then you couldn't say certain words. You know, that's why they would always say, "Oh, make whoopee." You know, you couldn't say like,
right.
"Oh, they're going to have sex." Like that was like banned.
Yeah.
So it's interesting the way they did it. They would come, you know, they kind of came up with these cute, coy ways to talk about things, you know,
Right.
that were basically risque. You know, they might call a gay guy a fairy or a dancer or something like that, you know, instead of just saying
Right.
it out and outright. And I think that people miss simpler times why these television shows appeal. You know, it brings you back
You know,
to
well,
that time.
But
frame.
they still won't do it.
you
They
want to
still-
know one of my
What'd you say,
right?
Mike?
You know one of my favorite. You go ahead, Mike.
Huh? Oh, they still won't do it. They still
No.
won't
It-
let
it-
everything go. We've got Comedy Central, we've got Cartoon Network. They let everything fly. But because it's ABC, owned by Disney, we can't say things like that. But what we can say is we're going to air a show that involves, actually, let me take that back. That was the WB. I don't remember who the WB is owned by. But I mean, TV
Warner
shows,
Brothers.
they were showing different television series, and I'm gonna have to go after this. They were showing different television shows that were putting family relations together. I don't know if you guys remember this.
Yeah, I do. You know,
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, how can you be a family television network if you're going to be showing stuff like this? It's
right.
like that's borderline Pornhub right there. You know, I
Well,
mean,
that's what I think
The show-
everybody freaked out about the cuties thing for. And a lot of people have dumped Disney throughout the years for some of their more scandalous innuendo that is hidden in their films, hidden in, you know, their parks. You know, a lot of people have been boycotting that because you're right. It's literally like a step away from porn. And it's pretty much that. And people need to admit that that's part of the culture. And the sad thing about the cutie thing is that what the director said that she was trying to do is show people how this culture in women is wrong. But it's like you went about it the whole wrong way. You missed the mark.
Yeah, you did
as they would
exactly
say.
exactly the opposite. You know,
Yep.
but you know, before I head out, because I gotta wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. But the show,
Well, yeah,
they need to
well,
bring
get out
back
of here
Golden
too.
Girls
I
on
am ready to
mainstream
go
TV.
to-
They need to bring back Golden Girls on mainstream TV, and we need to just elect Betty White as our president.
well,
We're just gonna have all white people. Let's have Betty
hold
White.
on. Golden Girls is still on the Hallmark Channel.
It is still
Yeah,
syndicated. It is.
It's on the Hallmark Channel. They need to bring it back mainstream. Like,
I loved
Well,
Golden
they
Girls. It was
can't.
great.
What are they gonna do? Have a one-woman show?
Thank you for being right.
Well, no,
'Cause everybody else is dead.
like, you say that. I'm pretty
They
sure
could do
Betty
hologram.
White. I'm pretty sure Betty White and Sam Elliott are part of the Illuminati, and they found the secret to eternal life.
No,
Because
Keith Richards.
Keith
there's
Richards.
Keith Richards too,
That
because that man should have
motherfucker
been
is more
dead.
drugs than anybody is still alive. We need to know what the secret is.
Him and Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons. Can't fucking forget that fucking old And don't get me wrong, I fucking love Gene Simmons and his music, but that motherfucker, he a ho-ho.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know much about like Betty White, like as far as that goes. She keeps her private life pretty private. She's smart.
He doesn't. You ought to.
I mean,
They've
I
done
don't
a
know.
couple fucking documentaries on her.
With like Gene Simmons and others is that they're old hoes. So I was just like, maybe she's an old hoe. I don't know.
Right. She was scandalous back in the day, but she was. I've seen pictures of her in her younger days. I'll
She
tell
was
you what.
beautiful. Absolutely.
She was gorgeous.
That's why she still looks
And,
beautiful. I don't think beauty fades over age in that way.
I didn't want to
Yeah.
know
You didn't want to know what?
Yeah.
that he's been staring at pictures of Betty White in her younger days, and that's become his spank material.
Spank
Hey,
back.
bud. She was good looking, bud. She good looking.
What?
Remember, he likes the older ladies, so this isn't outside of his realm of normalcy.
Oh, good lord.
I mean,
He likes the
you
mature
can't-
crowd.
You can't deny the fact. Yeah, I got tired of all the games. Older women, they know what they want.
See?
I mean,
I don't know. The only thing I know is that, guys, I got to sign off, or I'm not
me
gonna-
too.
Yep.
I gotta get up at 6 a.m.
Because I have I have a wedding to go to tomorrow, and I got to get up early, so there's things to do and people to see, and I got to drive like 5 hours tomorrow, so it'll be fun.
I love it.
Yeah. But at least it's nice
If you
weather.
need a tow, you can always call Tow Gator.
It'll take a while to get there, but no.
Well, yeah, but
I actually, if you do
here's-
break down,
But here's why.
there.
Wow, we're all lagging all of a sudden. What the
We
fuck?
are lagging all of a sudden. What were you saying?
Scarlet, if you end up needing a tow, you call him, and then that way he makes a whole bunch of money.
Right? Your
Right,
insurance will
with the money I
fucking
don't
love
have.
that.
Yeah.
Right. No, but actually,
I already got.
what I've done in the past, like my wife's son lives in California. He broke down, and I actually was able to arrange a tow for him sitting in Colorado.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah, hopefully our vehicles are hardy enough. I'm pretty sure we don't know which one we're going to take, but we're going to take something down there that saves a little bit on gas because it's a long drive, but I'm excited. But I'm also kind of sad because,
Minnesota.
well, none of my family is really going, and so it's kind of a sad thing. So I feel bad for my cousin because it's like no one's going. Everybody's like all afraid of the COVIDs and doesn't want to go. And so it's just like, so I feel bad. So I got to be the representative of the family and
that sucks.
be there.
But what are your gas prices like in Minnesota, real quick?
Gas prices are about between $1.95 and $2.
So they're running about the same. In Colorado.
Same here.
Yeah.
Yep. So about that. So it shouldn't be too bad. It's like a tank of gas there and back. So shouldn't be too bad, but got to get everything ready to go and go have fun. And I usually have fun at these type of family parties, so I'll be having a good time tomorrow. But like I said in the comments earlier, they're making people wear freaking masks dancing. I'll be damned. I'll get kicked out. I don't give a shit.
I don't care. Here's the thing. if I gotta wear a mask while I'm having sex, it might as well be a leather one.
They do make those now.
What do you mean now?
Yes, they do.
They do.
They've
They
made
make
those
like
for
the
years.
not like the one, not like, you know, sexy ones, but they make like leather face masks now with like filters and
They've had those
multi
All right,
layers.
Scarlett, I gotta work on you with your comedy here. This is not working. This is
No.
not working at all. No face
I mean,
mask.
something funny or that I can lead with, and we
Well,
will.
BDSM, the leather face mask, BDSM. You know, that's where I would
Hannibal Lecter mask. Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, no.
help her out, please.
Okay, you're familiar with Family Guy, right?
Right.
You remember the BDSM episode where fucking Peter comes in the shiny black suit and he has the face mask on and then he can't breathe in the face mask? That's the leather mask you're talking about.
Ah, kinky mask. I get it.
There you
There we go.
Right.
All
I'm
right.
with it now.
go.
I'm back on
Sticks and
board.
stones Sticks and stones
Back
may
on
break my
board.
bones, but whips and chains excite me.
Right. Back on board. That's all it takes, man. That's all it takes. Just a gentle nudge in the right
Comedy.
direction sometimes helps.
That was a little bit more of a gentle nudge, but we'll go with
I
that.
mean, yeah, that was like a hand holding, but you know, sometimes it's a little bit easier than that. It was a shove. You trying to say it was a shove?
Yeah, a little bit. Man, he's lagging a little bit.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, he's
Oh, I like this
trying to
mind
rope.
ball. Look, we're getting live mind action, everybody, on the Freedom Revolution Network.
That was-
Well, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna say goodnight to everybody. We appreciate you guys for being here with us. Thank you for being here with me on Clarity After Dark. Thank you, Freak Child. Thank you, Toegator. Thank you, TLO. Thank you, everybody who was here earlier tonight. We appreciate you so much for being here. Join us next time. Red says she's going to be restarting the show. So if that's the case, Sunday nights, I will be here with Red at, I believe, 8 p.m. Central. No, 8 p.m. Mountain. 8 p.m. Mountain time. 9 p.m. Central. But we might be going back a little bit earlier due to that. So, with that being said, got any last words, Toegator?
Slow down, move over, and watch for the damn lights ain't there just to look at.
All right. Freak Child.
Remember, life is years to live, and always try to find humor in at least one thing every day to give you a smile.
Absolutely. And from the land of 10,000 lakes, good night, universe.